The day the Oddity apocalypse breaks out, the cities stop belonging to humans. Firearms are a joke against the Oddities. Oddities cannot be killed. The only way to survive is through sequenced superhumans, constantly on the move. Just when I decide humanity has no future left, I unexpectedly awaken the universal upgrade system. While everyone else pushes broken-down carts to flee, I, on the other hand, build a walking iron fortress right inside the convoy. A rusty bicycle becomes an armored war machine in my hands. Even a torn tent evolves into a mobile shelter. The craziest part? The oddities that can't be killed stop trying to tear me apart and instead just follow me around. I stare at the rolling mist in the distance and can't help but laugh bitterly. I only wanted to survive. How did I end up as humanity's last hope? We escaped from Jiang City and formed a convoy with a group of survivors, heading for the survivor base in Mo City. Some people drive modified off-roaders, some drive a bus, and I'm the only one pedaling a beat-up old bicycle. Along the way, everyone has to remember 2 iron rules. First, never fall behind. Second, stockpile as many supplies as possible. The first rule always outweighs the second, because without supplies, someone might still save you. But once you fall behind, death is all that's waiting. Everyone had pinned their hopes on Mo City. It was one of the country's few great metropolises. Everyone believed it had a way to deal with the oddities, but before we even arrived, Mo City had already become a dead zone. After learning this, I cooked myself a steaming bowl of instant noodles, trying to cut through the dead silence around us. After dinner, darkness has completely swallowed the land. Everyone holds their breath as low as possible, terrified of stirring whatever horrors lurk in the dark. I take a deep breath and push down the tension in my chest. The rule of the apocalypse is simple: if you want to live, you endure. So I light my last cigarette, letting the smoke bring a false sense of calm. After finishing it, I wrap myself in a blanket, ready to get through the night. But the moment my hand touches the blanket, a line flashes in my mind. Upgrade blanket. Cost: 129 kill points. A few breaths later, I realize I haven't awakened a sequence power at all. Instead, I've gained an upgrade system. As long as I have kill points, I can upgrade anything I touch. Even a portable gas stove can evolve. But my excitement doesn't last long. Reality slaps me awake. I don't have a single kill point. Luckily, right then, new information appears. Since this is the host's first time using the system, a loan of 300 kill points is available. Repayment due in 1 month. I burst out laughing. Looking at things as they stand, I could die in an oddity's jaws tomorrow anyway. Not taking the loan would be foolish. So without hesitation, I confirm the loan. 300 points. Secured. I look at my old bicycle. The first iron rule is, never fall behind. To me, this beat-up bike is my lifeline. So, I decide without hesitation to pour every kill point into it. The next moment, an hourglass appears above the bicycle. A 5-hour countdown begins to tick away. Not until the sky turns pale at dawn does the system's alert suddenly ring out, upgrade complete. By the first faint light of dawn, I suddenly realize my old bicycle has completely transformed into a cargo trike. Not only does it now have a spacious cargo bed, the system has thoughtfully added an effort-saving mechanism. When the others in the convoy see this, some feel envy, some feel greed, and some feel outright fear. In the apocalypse, any supply is worth more than a life, let alone a trike that doesn't need a drop of gasoline. Some people once joined the convoy driving cars, but the moment the fuel ran out, those cars instantly went from treasures to dead weight. Now, only the 2 modified off-roaders up front can still run reliably. Rumor has it some serious people ride in those 2 vehicles. The most eye-catching of them is a young girl, who always carries a long sword. Just then a woman in yoga pants walks over, her eyes locked on my trike, the look of someone sizing up prey. I don't even need to say a word to know exactly what she's after, so I turn her down flat, no hesitation. Just as the woman is about to snap, a burly man cuts in first. That's Brick, a fitness trainer before the apocalypse. He immediately turns overly attentive, inviting the woman to ride on the back of his bike. The woman's expression finally softens a little. Before leaving, she shoots me a vicious glare, and even suggests to Brick that he should just take my trike by force. Brick glances at my crossbow, clearly a little wary. I don't bother with either of them. Strangely enough, the convoy moves much faster today than it did yesterday, but for me, that's no problem at all. The trike's effort-saving mechanism makes riding easier than ever. I can even feel it, in every push of my legs, a smooth, effortless rush, like riding on wind. Suddenly a row of buildings appears ahead. The survivors who'd been trudging along with their heads down instantly look up. After all, many in the convoy are already running out of supplies, barely holding on. Since the apocalypse, most towns have become no-go zones. The more densely populated a place was, the more oddities now run rampant there. None of us who fled all the way from Jiang City wants to face those horrors again. If it were nighttime, the convoy would definitely avoid a place like this. But it's daytime now, and daytime means opportunity. If we can push through, we might score new food and water. The lead off-roaders suddenly floor it, racing straight for the town. The whole convoy in this moment seems to catch fire with energy. Even those already exhausted survivors on foot grit their teeth and pick up the pace. But the closer we get to the town, the more oppressive the atmosphere becomes. It's the middle of the day, yet it feels like a freezing winter night. Even the air we breathe carries a bone-deep chill. The lead off-roader suddenly slams the brakes. The tires screech against the ground, leaving 2 deep black skid marks. Just as everyone hesitates, a gruff voice booms out. "Quit dawdling, I'm going in first." The words barely finish before a hulking man over 2 meters tall forces his way out of one of the off-roaders. The instant his feet hit the ground, the whole ground shakes. I freeze for a second, then it hits me just how ridiculous this guy is. He's a beast in human shape. He doesn't care what anyone thinks. Like a charging elephant, he sprints straight for the supermarket in the distance. The off-roaders behind him follow right away. Even more ridiculous, an old man fires up his mobility scooter too, shouting arrogantly, "You young folks are useless. Wait till I come out, I'll be living the good life." His shout sets everyone off and they charge toward the supermarket too. But I don't follow. Instead, I set my sights on the shops lining the street. A small shop might not have as much as the supermarket, but it's close to an exit. There's one rule in the apocalypse. Staying alive depends entirely on sunlight. As long as you're standing under direct sun, those unnatural things can't catch you. I rush to the door of a tobacco and liquor convenience store, backpack in hand. Through the glass door, I see shelves packed with cigarettes and liquor, piles of snacks and drinks. Anything edible or usable, I sweep straight into my backpack. Just as I'm feeling pleased with myself, a sudden chill crawls up my spine. Behind me stands a child, maybe 7 or 8 years old. Her face is paler than a 3-day-old corpse. Her eyes and mouth form the most twisted, unnatural smile imaginable. I curse under my breath. I try to vault the counter and bolt for the door, but when I reach it, I freeze in place. The glass door has been jammed shut from outside with a stick. Someone's trying to trap me in here. Through the glass, I stare hard outside. Standing beside my trike are a man and a woman. The woman, in tight yoga pants, is the same one I turned down earlier. The man beside her is Brick, the fitness trainer. Their eyes are full of smug satisfaction until they spot something deep in the darkness behind me. A small, shadowy shape lurks there. "Brick, run!" The two of them jump straight onto my trike and speed away. "Moon Goddess, watch the coffin bed. Brother's waiting for candy, crying his heart out." The childlike voice sounds like it's crawling out of dry bones. They say this oddity is called the Weeping Child. Once she latches onto you, there's no walking away alive. Without thinking, I pull the trigger. But the next second, the arrow passes clean through her body. The small figure doesn't even flinch. That babbling child's voice rings out right behind me. If I hadn't been standing right where sunlight was pouring in, I'd already be dead by now. I scan the room fast, glancing left and right, not a single usable weapon in sight. So I steel myself and slam a kick into the glass door. The glass finally shatters. I bolt outside. It's just past 4 in the afternoon out there. Golden sunlight washes over me, driving out the chill in my bones. In that instant, it feels like stepping straight out of hell and back into the living world. I look back, but I'm not afraid anymore because I'm standing in sunlight. I sling my supplies over my shoulder and chase after the direction my trike went. Brick and the yoga pants woman have headed straight for the supermarket. I didn't want to go in there, but my trike is in their hands now. I have no choice but to chase. The sun is sinking slowly toward the west. Shadows spread further across the street. Somewhere in those shadows, I can feel countless cold eyes fixed right on me. Yes, Apricot Blossom Town. Because of our arrival, something here is waking up. When I reach the entrance to the supermarket, I spot my familiar trike right away. My supplies are still sitting in the cargo bed. My anger is boiling over. I empty my backpack and strap it back on, then creep low toward the supermarket entrance. But once I actually step inside, I find the situation far worse than I expected. Most of the shelves are already stripped bare. In the corner, a few figures stand frozen. The moment they see me, they signal for silence. Just as confusion hits me, an icy dread shoots up my spine. A disheveled young woman is dragging her feet between the aisles. She stands a full 3 meters tall. In her hand, she grips a massive pair of scissors. A chilling voice slips from her mouth. "Where are you? Come out, let's play." Cold sweat runs down my forehead. I've barely escaped the weeping child, and now I run straight into the scissor woman. I try to slip out of her line of sight, circling to the other side. But just then, I notice quite a few survivors still in the food section. Even the 2-meter giant from earlier is here. His face is tight with tension. The scissor woman suddenly stops. 2 crimson points beneath her long hair snap toward us. In that instant, everyone freezes. The only sound left is our own heartbeats. Luckily, she doesn't notice us, and shuffles mechanically away. Just as I let out a breath of relief, ready to keep filling my bag, I suddenly bump into the survivor in front of me. I look up, everyone has stopped dead. Every eye locks on the same spot ahead. The 3-meter scissor woman stiffly turns her head, facing our direction. She lunges forward, shelves crashing down in her wake. I grab my backpack and try to run, but I watch right in front of me as 2 survivors get cut clean in half by her scissors. "So fun! So much fun!" Her laughter is colder than the blade itself. The next second, a man in a suit and wireframe glasses is sliced at the waist too. Right then, the 2-meter giant lets out a roar. "Screw it, I'm fighting!" His body inflates in an instant, growing to 3 meters tall in the blink of an eye. Every muscle bulges and knots, swelling like solid iron. He locks eyes with the scissor woman, matching her presence blow for blow. This is the apocalypse of the sequenced superhumans. Oddities have erupted across the globe. I flee with a group of survivors into a small town, never expecting that just as we prepare to gather supplies, an oddity, the scissor woman, suddenly appears from the dark. At the critical moment, a 3-meter sequence superhuman bursts through a wall and holds her back by sheer force. It's only now I finally understand why this sequence superhuman had been so afraid of the woman in white. The muscle-bound man swings a punch at the scissor woman, but she catches it effortlessly with one hand. Despite her frail frame, she wields an incomprehensible amount of raw strength. She grips his fist as if it were nothing more than dough. Pain twists across his face, his body bending under her twisted grin. I don't know what came over me. I raise my crossbow at the scissor woman and fire an arrow. It doesn't even scratch her, but somehow scores me 200 kill points for free. Before I can even celebrate, the scissor woman roars and charges straight at me. Luckily, the muscle-bound man moves, slamming a punch straight into her face. But what I never expected is that she doesn't budge an inch. Instead, she flings him away entirely, his massive body smashing through shelf after shelf. This is what an oddity is. Even a so-called miracle of humanity, a sequence superhuman, is nothing but a rag doll in front of the scissor woman. But the massive brute leaps back out from the wreckage of shelves, charging at her again. Like a cockroach that refuses to die, he doesn't seem hurt at all. If he isn't running even after all that, fine, I'm running. While the big guy is locked in battle with the scissor woman, I sling my backpack on and take off running. But the next moment, that familiar, unsettling child's voice rings out beside my ear. Moon goddess, watch the coffin bed. Brother's waiting for candy, crying his heart out. A pale child grabs the hem of my pants. Just as despair sets in, I spot candy scattered across the floor from a fallen shelf. I grab a few pieces and hold them out. She clearly doesn't want to take them, but some rule seems to bind her. She has no choice but to accept them. The moment the weeping child takes the candy, I bolt for the supermarket entrance. Survivors around me are screaming for their lives. I glance back. The weeping child is busy unwrapping the candy, while far off, the muscle-bound man gets knocked flying again, only to charge right back at the scissor woman. Not until I'm back under direct sunlight do I feel like I've returned to the living world. Inside the supermarket, screams and terrified cries still echo out. Shadows of oddities crowd the whole area. Survivor after survivor mid-sprint gets dragged back into darkness by unseen shapes. Every oddity in Apricot Blossom Town has been drawn by the crowd. Only sunlight offers any real safety. I drop down onto my trike, tossing the 2 bags I grabbed on the way out into the cargo bed. Right then, a hostile voice cuts through the air. Ethan, what do you think you're doing, trying to steal our ride? It's Jamie, the yoga pants woman, and Brick, the fitness trainer, each carrying a bundle of supplies standing not far away. I say nothing. I simply draw back my crossbow. An arrow slices through the air and pierces straight through Brick. You have slain your enemy. Kill points plus 1,000. I pause for a second, surprised that killing a human also earns kill points. I raise my crossbow again. Jamie shrieks in terror, spinning to bolt back toward the supermarket. Compared to the oddities, I've become her true nightmare. But before I can even fire, her scream tears through the air again, pure terror written across her face. Behind her, a ragged, tattered figure stands waiting. Just as she's about to reach the sunlight, that tattered figure grabs her by the hair and drags her back into the darkness. By now, plenty of survivors who've just escaped are scattered around, frantically loading their supplies onto their vehicles before turning to flee. I get up and pedal my trike away too, not forgetting to grab those 2 bundles first and toss them into my cargo bed. Just as everyone races to escape, a white shape suddenly flashes across the rooftops. I glance up and spot a young woman with a sword slung on her back, moving like a legendary swordswoman, running the opposite direction from everyone else. Her target, the supermarket, where the fight still rages behind me. In this apocalypse, only sequenced superhumans stand a chance against oddities. I don't have time to think about it. I sprint straight through the town's entrance gate and am immediately swarmed by a crowd. Everyone bombards me with questions. I don't bother answering. Most of them are women. In the apocalypse, the elderly and children tend to have weaker stamina, making it much harder for them to escape an oddity. Adult women, on the other hand, despite lower physical strength than adult men, tend to survive more easily. Just then, a man steps out of a modified off-roader. His outfit is strange, a hooded sweatshirt, loose jogger pants, and no shoes at all. He bends down, scoops up a handful of dirt from the ground and tosses it right into his mouth, tasting it. His expression suddenly darkens. "Move, now," he shouts. "If we don't leave now, it'll be too late." The people gathered around him pale instantly at his words and scramble frantically toward their vehicles. It's as if some great horror is about to descend. Someone shouts in a panic, "What about Nana and Iron Lion?" The man snaps back. "Don't worry, they'll catch up. Move, no more talk." Word of these vehicles' sudden movement quickly reaches the other survivors. Panic breaks out. Some even try to block the vehicles from leaving. "No, my husband isn't out yet. You can't leave. Please, I'm begging you, my brother's still inside. You can't abandon us." But the modified off-roaders don't slow down for anyone. They floor it and speed away. I get ready to pedal my trike and follow. The off-roaders ahead are moving unbelievably fast. Survivors without vehicles fall behind almost immediately. Luckily, my trike has its effort-saving mechanism, letting me just barely keep pace. Right then, a bus comes rattling out of the town. I recognize this bus. It belongs to our convoy. It used to be packed full of people. Now, it's noticeably emptier. One survivor tries to stop the bus, but the bus plows straight through him, leaving me unsure whether he's alive. Everyone runs forward like they've lost their minds. Sweat pours down my face by now. Even so, the convoy ahead of me has shrunk to just a tiny speck of light. Heavy breathing sounds close behind me, clearly a few cyclists still keeping pace. As for the survivors on foot, not a single one is in sight anymore. I don't know how much time passes before I finally see that tiny light up ahead again. It looks like they've stopped. A spark of renewed hope lights up in my chest. Half an hour later, I finally catch up and rejoin the convoy. The others have already gotten out of their vehicles and started setting up tents. I even see the giant being carried onto open ground, his left arm severed clean at the shoulder, blood soaking the grass beneath him. Beside him stands the sword-carrying young woman and the barefoot man from earlier. About 5 minutes later, I finally start to catch my breath. I bring up the system and find that my current kill points have already reached 1,200. After everything that just happened, I'm certain of one thing: the convoy sensed some danger and acted fast. To make sure I never fall behind again, I decide to upgrade my trike into a motorized one. I check the system's upgrade plan, and it responds with a clear proposal almost instantly. Right in front of me, a 3D projection appears. According to this plan, the cost is 1,200 kill points, with a 15-hour upgrade time. I have just over 1,200 points right now. 15 hours is a price I can accept. Just as I'm about to confirm the upgrade, I spot an abandoned motorcycle parked by the road. Sites like this are everywhere in the apocalypse. A bold idea forms in my head. System, if I can gather parts myself, can the kill point cost be reduced? The system answers quickly. Locate suitable parts and the system can grant a partial discount on kill points. Fighting to steady my racing heart and shaking hands, I drag the motorcycle over next to my trike, then turn my focus to the upgrade itself. System, can this motorcycle be used for the upgrade? Yes. Current upgrade cost, 900 kill points. Only a 300-point discount that hardly seems worth it. System, is there any other way to save more points? Yes. If the host disassembles every part of the motorcycle by hand and pre-installs them onto the trike, 100 points can be saved. If the host finds a third tire, another 100 points can be saved. Now I finally understand the more work I put in myself, the more kill points I can save. But since it's already too dark to work, I have to let it go for tonight. After confirming the upgrade in the system, an hourglass appears above my trike. The countdown reads, 6 hours until completion. After finishing dinner, I test the waters with the system, asking how to awaken as a sequence superhuman. It gives me 2 answers. First, obtaining a sequence relic. Second, self-awakening. A sequence relic costs 3,000 kill points, and my account only holds 300 right now. So a sudden idea strikes me. I use my 300 kill points to unlock a method for dealing with oddities. Black Dog Blood. Black Dog Blood can effectively counter oddities. Even better, I can trade this secret for the supplies I need. By the faint light of the next morning, the trike is finished upgrading. The front half is now a motorcycle, and the cargo bed's capacity is stronger than ever. Plenty of people mock me. The old bike was so much better, now you've got to hunt down gasoline too. But some sharp-eyed people notice something's off. Wait, isn't this the same trike from before? He turned it into this overnight. That's impossible. Everyone stares at me with wary eyes, some even mistaking me for an oddity. Right then, the sword-carrying young woman walks over to me. Then her gaze lands on my motor trike. Is this bike yours? She asks. Have you awakened as a sequence superhuman? The moment she says it, the survivors around us erupt in murmurs. So I make up a lie, claiming to be an engineer sequence. After saying that, she leads me toward the front vehicles, clearly having taken me for a genuine sequence superhuman. I even spot that distinctive barefoot young man from last night. The moment he learns I'm a sequence superhuman, his eyes light up. Welcome, fellow sequence superhuman, this is a whole new world now. I'm invited into a tent. From what I gather, this convoy has 3 sequence superhumans total. The leader is that barefoot young man named Marcus of the Pathfinder sequence. The white-haired beauty is named Nana of the Sword Immortal sequence. The last one is the massive man Iron Lion of the Titan sequence. According to Marcus, there are hundreds of different sequences. Every sequence superhuman has a unique power. There are combat sequences, support sequences, supernatural sequences, and every country even has its own exclusive sequences. Xi'an Nation has the Sword Immortal sequence and the Celestial Master sequence. The Island Nation has the Ninja sequence and the Godslayer sequence. Sequence superhumans aren't invincible though. Truly killing an oddity is nearly impossible for a first-tier sequence. Whether it's the Weeping Child from Apricot Blossom Town or the Scissor Woman, neither of them ranks particularly high among oddities. In that moment, it hits me clearly: humanity's sequence, superhumans, against the oddities, are still far too weak. Marcus extends his left hand, his gaze serious. Ethan, you're the convoy's 4th sequence superhuman. With you here, we're that much safer. Welcome aboard. I shake his hand and ask about the convoy's gasoline situation. But Marcus is blunt about it. If you want it, you trade supplies for it. Even if you've awakened a sequence, don't expect to get anything for free. I'd assumed being a superhuman would bring status and perks, but reality slaps that idea right out of me. There's no special privilege here, no free protection, just fair trade, plain and simple. But Marcus adds one more thing. The convoy will hold an internal trading fair soon. As long as you're willing to pay the price, you can get whatever you want. Within this convoy, there are exactly 4 four-wheeled vehicles, 2 modified off-roaders, the bus belonging to Iron Lion of the Titan sequence, and the last one, a small car which turns out to belong to a former celebrity. Her supplies aren't extensive, but thanks to her fame from before the apocalypse, her stall is always crowded with men eyeing her suggestively. Just as I'm deciding who to approach first for gasoline, a man hauls a metal drum out of his car. "Ethan, if you need it, I've got a barrel of gas right here. Just 8 pounds of rice cheaper than Marcus and Nana's rate of 20. I see through his motive instantly. He's trading cheap gas for my protection. I lay it out plainly. Give me the gas, and I'll step in if trouble finds you. Lauren stares hard at me, silent for a full 30 seconds before finally gritting her teeth and agreeing. The moment Lauren hands over the barrel, her brother panics. Without gas, our car's just dead weight. Alex raises his voice on purpose, demanding the gas back loudly. Some onlookers smirk, enjoying the spectacle. Lauren doesn't stop him, just turns her head away, guilty. Luckily, she's not the only one with gasoline. I walk straight up to Marcus and trade the secret of black dog blood for a barrel of gas. Then I find Nana and trade for a machete from an Island Nation brand. When the announcement finally sounds, the convoy sets off. I fall in line behind the bus, now recognized as the convoy's 4th key figure. Along the way, Marcus keeps getting out to grab handfuls of dirt and taste them. That habit is exactly why this convoy has survived this long. When Iron Lion finally wakes up, I truly witness what superhuman means. I'd watched his arm get severed with my own eyes that day, yet today he's fully healed, as if nothing happened. The moment Iron Lion sees me, his first words are a thank you. He says if it weren't for that arrow of mine, he'd already be dead. Truthfully, the same goes for me. Without him holding off the scissor woman, I wouldn't have made it either. I mentioned to him that black dog blood counters oddities. That information turns out to be worth a lot. I end up with a power source in my cargo bed as payment. The convoy weaves and dodges through the terrain afterward, narrowly avoiding several relentless ghosts. If it weren't for Marcus, this convoy would already be nothing but bones. I use every spare moment of rest to soak my arrows in black dog blood. That night, Marcus announces we'll gather supplies at Longevity Village tomorrow. The moment he says it, fear spreads across every face. Even the name Longevity Village carries an unsettling weight. With my arrows fully stocked, this is my chance to hunt oddities and rack up kill points. But right then, a scream tears through the night sky. There's a ghost! The camp erupts in chaos instantly. I grab my black dog blood-coated crossbow and turn toward dozens of dark shapes not far off. Just as the tension reaches its peak, a weak voice calls out from the shadows of the forest. Please, save us. As a beam of light sweeps toward the sound, a tattered figure comes into view. More figures soon emerge from the shadows behind. Marcus has already moved to the front of the group. His eyes stay sharp and cautious. We escaped from Deer City, one of them says. Deer City is gone. As those trembling words fall, the whole group breaks into sobs. Amid this wave of despair, Marcus suddenly crouches down, scoops up a handful of dirt, and puts it in his mouth as if tasting a fine delicacy. Once he confirms there's no danger, Marcus lays out the terms. You're new to the group. I'll give you 1 free day of food. After that, you're on your own to feed yourselves. With that, Marcus assigns a few middle-aged women to help cook. Just as everyone assumes order has settled, one of the newcomers suddenly shouts, "This isn't fair. Why are all the women doing the work? Why don't the men cook? This is discrimination against women." The moment she says it, the newcomer treats Marcus like he's in charge of the arrangement, but the women already cooking look ready to tear her apart. Marcus simply gives a faint smile. In that case, Xiao, you and the others take a break. Bao, take a few men and go cook. The newcomer quickly regrets her outburst. The men, delighted like it's a holiday, rush to boil water and start the fire. Meanwhile, the woman who demanded fairness just stands there, dumbfounded. She thought she was fighting for her rights, but all she earns is everyone's contempt. Right after dinner, Marcus hands out payment to the men who cooked. The woman's face turns instantly pale. A few of the older women grab her by the hair, slapping her across the face, cursing her as a troublemaker. Marcus never even had to confront her directly. He crushed her completely without lifting a finger. The next morning, most survivors are still stuck gnawing on coarse rations, while I sit with a bowl of cured meat fried rice. An old woman walks over with her grandson in tow, smiling eagerly. Young man, share a little food with the boy. He hasn't had meat in so long. Before she even finishes, the kid lunges straight at my bowl, shoving both filthy hands into it, grabbing at my food like a wild animal. With no other option, I just move somewhere else. As night falls, Marcus leads the group to a new shelter. Just as I'm about to close my eyes, Bao comes rushing over. Ethan, Captain Marcus wants you at a meeting. Inside the tent, several people are already seated. Then Marcus pulls an old radio out from inside his jacket, a beat-up piece of junk at first glance, but actually an artifact numbered 01357. In an age overrun by oddities, artifacts are humanity's only real trump card. Marcus sets the old radio on the table. Everyone holds their breath as it speaks. 3 months ago, oddities erupted in Longevity Village. Every resident died. No survivors. The village's supplies remain intact. At the center, beneath a great willow tree, there's a small store well stocked with goods, recommended as a priority target. The village chief's home has a cellar with stored grain, a secondary target. A well sits near the village entrance, its water uncontaminated and safe to drink. Ghost Zone Oddity count inside the village over 100. Danger level, triple S. Once the report ends, Marcus's expression turns strange, as if something in the radio unsettles even him. A full minute passes before he finally assigns tasks. First, the small store under the willow tree, then the village chief cellar for supplies. Just as everyone discusses the details, Marcus's own familiar voice suddenly plays from the radio. That brat Nana looks refined enough, but she acts like a wild monkey all day. Probably no one wanted her before the apocalypse. Iron Lion, a Titan sequence and still dumb as a rock. What a piece of work. That new guy's got a nasty temper. He definitely wasn't a good person before all this. I saw him hit an old man and a kid with my own eyes. That celebrity Lauren's so glamorous on screen, but in reality that's all it is. This artifact doesn't just gather information, it can even replay its owner's own private words out loud for everyone to hear. Marcus opens his mouth, but before he can explain, Nana's sword flashes out. The usually calm, composed leader shows genuine embarrassment for the first time. To reach Longevity Village sooner, early the next morning, the convoy picks up its pace slightly. Trailing behind the convoy are the survivors without any vehicle at all, on foot. As for me, I keep sensing a pair of malicious eyes fixed on me, but every time I look back I find nothing there. Just then, a loud shout rises through the group. There's a village ahead! I twist the throttle, only to realize my motor trike is out of gas. The bus behind me suddenly accelerates, leaving me in the dust. I can still see Iron Lion's goofy grin as it passes. By the time I catch up, everyone has already reached the village entrance. Looking at this village, a wave of dread washes over me. It's the middle of the day, sun blazing overhead, yet inside the village, everything looks dark and gloomy, even more terrifying than Apricot Blossom Town. Marcus puts on sunglasses, picks up a megaphone, and announces loudly, "It's 11 in the morning now. By 4 in the afternoon, everyone must be out of Longevity Village. No one waits past that." At the village center stands an enormous willow tree, so massive it feels unnatural. Right at the village entrance, at some point no one notices, an old man appears out of nowhere. He's hunchbacked, leaning on a cane, his face turned toward the crowd, wearing an utterly chilling smile. Everyone freezes in fear. "Ethan, stay close!" Iron Lion growls, striding into the village first. I grip my crossbow tight and walk in step beside Nana. Even so, some of the braver survivors follow right behind, but most still hesitate, since no one can guarantee they'll come out alive. "Grandma, I don't want you to go, I don't want you to go." "Silly child, if Grandma doesn't go, what will you eat?" "If I don't come back, everyone here is responsible for your grandma's death. When you grow up, remember to avenge me." Not far off, Marcus holds the radio close, sighing from a distance. Sins committed by man leave no one to live. The instant I step through the village entrance. "Careful, this is a ghost zone," Nana warns, gripping her sword tighter, her expression deadly serious. A ghost zone is a special zone formed by some unknown force. Inside a ghost zone, even in broad daylight, the odds of encountering an oddity rise sharply. After hearing Nana's explanation, I feel like someone's watching me from the darkness. But when I look closely, I find nothing. Right then, 2 survivors push open a door near the entrance, revealing a pitch-black opening before them. The 2 exchange a glance before stepping inside side by side. Just then, a bespectacled man completely breaks down, screaming and turning to run. "Ha ha ha! I don't want to die, I want out!" Fear spreads like a disease. Lauren and her brother Alex watch him run, instinctively stepping back themselves. But before we've even left the entrance path, that hunchbacked old man appears out of thin air again. I instinctively raise my crossbow, aiming straight at him. "You finally came. Are you villagers?" "Heh heh. Heh heh. I know you're here for supplies. There's a little store under the big willow tree. Plenty of goods inside. Go take a look." With that, he turns and walks away. But from somewhere deep inside his body, I hear a faint, mournful cry. "Save me." The voice drifts, near then far, as if someone is trapped inside him. My heart lurches. Without a second thought, I pull the trigger. The arrow, soaked in black dog blood, drives hard into his body. A wisp of pale smoke rises instantly. Damage dealt to the hunchback. Kill points plus 100. I never expected the old man to actually be an oddity. But before I can even feel relieved, Nana's eyes turn suddenly cold. Her sword flashes down in a streak of cold light, slicing the hunchback clean in two. Just as the survivors start to relax, they notice neither half of the body sheds a drop of blood. Instead, the 2 halves scramble up onto the rooftop like grotesque monkeys and vanish in an instant. "Save me!" The mournful cry echoes again, coming from wherever the hunchback disappeared to. Iron Lion moves to chase after it, but Nana grabs his arm and pulls him back. "Calm down, big guy. Getting the supplies comes first." All of this happens in the blink of an eye. Soon, more survivors break down and scream. "I'm not going any further. Go on without me. I want to leave. I want out." With that, he turns and bolts, and 2 more follow right behind, sprinting back toward the entrance. The atmosphere turns unbearably tense. In this moment, it feels like we're walking through another dimension entirely. As we keep moving, a terrified scream suddenly rises behind us. "Ozzy! Ozzy's gone!" It's a disheveled young woman calling out. We haven't even reached the store under the willow tree yet, and already so much has gone wrong. "Don't cry, maybe Ozzy already went back. We'll probably see her when we head back." No, without Ozzy I can't live. The young woman suddenly bolts back the way we came. Something feels off to me. I'm certain of one thing, our convoy has never had anyone named Ozzy in it. I share this with the group. Alex instinctively pushes back. How can you be so sure you've never seen her? Strangely enough, as Alex searches his own memory, he can't actually recall the girl's name at all. I laugh coldly. This is Longevity Village. A strange girl showing up in a place like this, doesn't that seem suspicious to you? Alex tries to argue back, but Lauren pulls him aside. Let's just keep moving. We need to gather enough supplies before 4 this afternoon and get out of Longevity Village. The moment Nana says this, everyone starts moving toward the great willow tree again. Little do we know, the moment Iron Lion rounds the corner ahead, he suddenly freezes solid. Iron Lion, what's wrong? Nana, you need to see this. Nana and I quicken our pace, and then I see it too, a sight I'll never forget. At the tips of the towering willow's branches, corpse after corpse hangs, at least 100 of them. The survivors behind us all freeze in place, eyes wide with horror. Beneath the sinister willow tree, a small single-story building stands. A wooden sign reads, Great Willow Store. Its door hangs open, and we can even see the glass counters inside. The shelves inside are stocked with everything. Everyone's eyes light up at once, momentarily forgetting the corpses hanging overhead. One old woman's face fills with pure greed. Outside the store, a gust of wind rises from nowhere, swaying the bodies hanging from the branches ever so slightly. Everyone, be careful, don't disturb these things. After warning everyone, I creep carefully toward the store beneath the tree. Not only is this place packed with supplies, the snacks alone are piled sky high. It's practically a treasure trove in this apocalypse. I brought 2 backpacks. The first, I fill with rice and flour, the second with cured meat and dried fish. Nana is stuffing her own bag just as frantically, while Iron Lion sweeps the shelves clean with a massive sack. Everyone else follows suit, and within moments the little store is stripped completely bare, not even a single bag of salt is left. Scoring this much loot from such a small store is already a stroke of luck. Maybe we should head back? But my backpack's only half full, this haul isn't nearly enough. Anyone who wants to go back, go back. Anyone who wants to keep gathering supplies, come with us. But you'll need to follow instructions. If something happens to you, we can't promise your safety. Just as we step out of the store, a scream suddenly rips through the air. A survivor's body is caught tight in the grip of a willow branch, before being violently yanked into the air. Within seconds, the survivor is nothing but a lifeless body dangling above us. Everyone's eyes go wide. I recognize that face all too well. He was right behind me just moments ago. Now, in less than a minute, he's become just another ghost hanging beneath the willow. I've got enough supplies, I'm not going any further. Find the rest yourselves. Fear makes no one want to linger. In the end, the group splits into 2. I go on with Nana's group, while the others race back toward the entrance. Lauren wants to leave with the group heading back, but Alex grabs her sleeve. Lauren, let's stick with them instead. Better to follow the others than head out alone and die. Before long, a gray 3-story mansion comes into view. My first thought looking at it, this is absolutely no place for the living. Let's go in, we don't have much time left. Iron Lion, sack on his back, charges into the courtyard first, with the rest of us right behind him. Everyone heads straight for the kitchen first, then the bedrooms and living areas. The survivors search nearly every single room, only to find a small amount of rice and flour nowhere near enough for our next resupply, while everyone else spreads out to keep searching. I dig a digital watch out of a closet on the 3rd floor and slip it into my jacket. I'm planning to trade with Marcus later for a solar charging panel. It might come in handy someday. With only an hour and a half left, a voice suddenly calls out from downstairs. There's a basement here. A bespectacled teenager points at the basement entrance, his face lit up with excitement. Nana is the first to leap down. Moments later, uncontainable joy echoes up from the basement. Ethan, Iron Lion, it's all potatoes down here. The tense mood finally breaks. Everyone scrambles to climb down into the cellar, and sack after sack of potatoes get hauled up. The joy of a good harvest shows on every single face. Just as we're hauling supplies at full speed, I glance through a window and see the hunchback standing right outside the front door. He watches us like death itself, unblinking. I raise my crossbow and fire. Damage dealt to the hunchback. Kill points plus 100. Ethan, what did you see? That old ghost's been tailing us this whole time. Stop stalling, I've got a very bad feeling. We need to get out now. Iron Lion doesn't ask any more questions, but his hauling speed picks up several times over. One by one, everyone climbs out of the cellar, their backpacks stuffed to bursting. Even Lauren and her brother are bent nearly double under the weight, but every face still carries the smile of a good haul. Nana glances at her watch. Her smile vanishes instantly. 40 minutes left until 4 o'clock. We have to leave before then. Everyone sets off at once. Only the old woman crawls out last, slow and sluggish, except for the college student who just found the cellar, who helps her up. No one else pays her any attention. But when I see the weight on her back, I freeze completely. She's covered head to toe in backpacks. Compared to the other survivors, her haul is actually the biggest. She seems to notice us staring, and a smug little smile crosses her face. She's tireless, like an old ox that never wears out. Nana leads the way, long sword in hand. Everyone starts heading back the way we came. The sky is still a dull, grayish haze. Nana checks her watch again. Every supply run before this has been a brush with death. But this time, oddly, it's gone smoothly. Then, as we keep walking, Nana points at a house by the road. Something's wrong. We pass this road before someone went into that house and never came out. When everyone looks up, a massive willow tree stands silently ahead. Based on the direction we've been walking, that tree should be behind us. Everyone's face drains of color. We took a wrong turn. 30 minutes left. If we hurry back now, we can still make it. Everyone spins around and runs. Terrified the willow will appear ahead again any second. It's the 10th day since the oddities broke out. I've come to Longevity Village with the other survivors to gather supplies, but none of us could have imagined that just as everyone finally finishes gathering supplies, right when we think we can leave safely, the entire village turns into an endless maze. No matter which direction we run, we always end up back under that eerie giant willow. Everyone's faces twist with terror. Only 20 minutes left until the rendezvous. Everyone is pinning their hopes on the few of us with sequence powers. So, we try running in the opposite direction from the willow. This time, everyone's pace picks up noticeably. But to my despair, we end up right back where we started. Why are we back here again? Aren't you sequence superhumans supposed to be strong? Why can't you get us out of here? You're all useless. Get us out of here now. I don't want to die. Some of the survivors, driven half-mad, scream hysterically. A few even lunge at us, eyes red with panic. Just then, a thick, powerful leg kicks out toward me and sends the crazed survivor flying instead. I quietly raise my crossbow, watching our surroundings. And right at that moment, the hunchback suddenly appears, blocking our way. Who are you? Why are you blocking us? You stole so many supplies from my home, and you still ask who I am? You're the village head? Tell us how to get out. You're not getting out. Just stay here with me. Quit the theatrics. Nana barks in fury, forming a sword finger with her left hand and sweeping it along the blade. The next instant, a faint blue light ripples along the blade. A blade of light slashes down hard, and before the hunchback can dodge, the sword energy tears his clothes open at the back. There, embedded in his body, is a human head. Now I finally see it clearly that Head is one of the survivors who entered Longevity Village with us. Now he's just a part of the hunchback's body. A chill shoots straight up to the top of my skull. Without thinking, I lash out and strike at the head, but the hunchback doesn't even glance at it, flipping around and bolting into a nearby house. At the same time, Nana slices her own finger with her sword, and as the blood is absorbed into the blade, the sword rings out with a piercing hum. Fang mark becomes breath. The blade breaks with the body. Shadow without essence or blood. 10,000 blades return to truth break. The instant Nana finishes the incantation, what happens next stuns me. Nana grips a sword with both hands, and the blade's light surges violently, aimed straight at the house the hunchback fled into. The strike cleaves the entire house clean in two. So this is the power of the sword immortal sequence. Every survivor there stares in slack-jawed shock. A long moment later, I realize with a jolt there's no trace of the hunchback anywhere in the wreckage. And what I never expect is that under the eerie willow tree, there are now some horribly familiar figures. They're the survivors who left earlier. None of them ever made it out of Longevity Village. The survivors still alive are gripped by shock and terror, each one dreading they'll be next. Damn theatrics. Watch me smash it to pieces. Iron Lion, freshly transformed, swings a fist at the tree, meaning to smash it in one hit, but right then, the corpse puppets beneath the branches start moving eerily. Hundreds of corpse puppets open their eyes at once. Controlled by the willow's branches, they drop from the tree, one after another, like hail. They launch a savage assault on us. Iron Lion is forced to stop in his tracks, swinging his fists at the enemy, beating back the corpse puppets, blocking his path by sheer force. But as more and more corpse puppets pile in, Iron Lion starts to struggle. Some corpse puppets even leap onto his back. Seeing this, I raise my crossbow and fire. The black dog blood-coated bolt lodges square in a corpse puppet's back. A hiss of white smoke erupts, and the corpse puppet falls off Iron Lion's back. You have dealt damage to a corpse puppet. Kill points plus 100 acquired. But before I can react, the corpse puppet, bolt still lodged in it, lunges straight at me. Luckily, Nana steps in front of me just in time. Her left hand sweeps out in a sword finger arc, and with a sharp battle cry, the blade sings. The corpse puppet is cleaved in half instantly, but the remaining half still drags itself toward me. My heart drops cold. This thing isn't even fully dead. And right at that moment, screams keep tearing through the crowd. Some unlucky survivors are dragged off by corpse puppets. Further off, the old woman loaded with supplies is still dodging left and right. A survivor nearby lets his guard down for a second, and she shoves him, turning him into a scapegoat in her place. Plenty of survivors see it happen, clear as day. Their eyes are full of disgust and rage. Lauren and Alex are in just as rough a shape. Earlier they were counting on Iron Lion and Nana's protection to survive. But Iron Lion has already charged at the willow, and Nana can't possibly protect them either. She has to cover Iron Lion, and protect me, the team's only support sequence on top of that. Soon, a corpse puppet charges straight at Lauren. "Lauren, look out!" Alex swings the backpack off his back and hurls it hard at the corpse puppet. It narrowly saves Lauren from the attack. But that's only the beginning. As more corpse puppets swarm in, Alex sees my crossbow bolt fly out and pin one of them. It starts smoking white and backs off. So he grips his sister's hand tight, dragging her toward me with everything he's got, as if I'm their last hope. But right then, The nimble old woman has already ducked behind me, clearly hoping for protection and ready to use me as a shield if it comes to that. But I'm not about to let that happen. Before the old woman can act, I shift my position sharply. A figure lunges past and the nimble old woman doesn't even get a curse out before several corpse puppets drag her off. I don't feel a shred of guilt. If I hadn't moved fast, I'd be the one being dragged off right now. Ethan, save my sister! I spin around fast and see Lauren knocked down by a corpse puppet. Alex grabs an iron rod off the ground and shoves the thing, pinning his sister off her by force. But the instant he pulls Lauren up, corpse puppets close in from every direction, forming a ring. Each one bears stark white teeth. He actually recognizes several of the faces. Most of them are people from the convoy. Now they've all become flesh-eating monsters. The two of them stand back to back. Alex, run first. Just get to Ethan. Even if he doesn't want to save you, it'll still keep you alive. What kind of nonsense is that? I'd rather die right here than go beg that bastard. Nearby, a survivor tries to flee, only to be slammed down by a corpse puppet and dragged bodily into the depths of the willow's canopy. Ethan, save us! But I'm barely holding on myself. My crossbow string is nearly snapped from overuse. If Nana and Iron Lion are even a second slower, all of us are going to die here. As for the other survivors, I honestly don't have the bandwidth to care. But right then, a thunderous roar suddenly tears through the air. The ground across all of Longevity Village shakes violently. Iron Lion, like a beast pushed past all fury, pounds the willow's trunk again and again. The whole tree shudders violently, green leaves and branches burst outward. Nana, meanwhile, radiates pure killing intent. She raises her sword high with one hand, and the blade, once just over a meter, stretches to over 10 meters. As the light of the blade comes down, a terrifying gash tears open across the willow. Green sap gushes from the wound. The air over the whole village feels frozen solid. That strike seems to have enraged something completely. Every corpse puppet freezes in place, as if something far more terrifying is waking up. Run! Someone screams. Everyone snaps out of the nightmare instantly and bolts for the village entrance like their lives depend on it. I don't waste time thinking either because I can feel some forbidden thing in this village waking up. Come on, you big lug, move! I shout at Iron Lion, but he's completely lost in a berserk frenzy, smashing the willow again and again. My eyes go cold. If it were Lauren or Alex, I would never go back for them. But Iron Lion and Nana are different. They're sequenced superhumans, people worth saving. I hesitate for all of 0.01 seconds, then raise my crossbow and pull the trigger. The bolt buries itself deep in Iron Lion's arm. The instant I do it, I turn and run. Iron Lion, stung by the pain, spins around violently and charges straight at me. Right then, Nana lands lightly on Iron Lion's shoulder. But before we can get out of the village gate, the entire village fully wakes up. Countless willow branches come alive, sweeping in from both sides of the street, covering everything. Some of the slower survivors are swallowed into the darkness on the spot, not even a scream getting out in time. A few branches block my own path, so I raise my hand and strike. The black dog, blood-soaked bolt whizzes through, piercing a branch. The branch snaps back into the darkness. But the next second I feel my ankle clamp tight, and I'm yanked upside down in an instant. I rip the machete from my belt and hack down at the branch with everything I have. Only once it's fully severed do I crash hard onto the ground. Ethan, hop on! Iron Lion's huge hand hauls me up in one motion. I'm speeding up. Iron Lion lets out a low growl, and the ground cracks under his feet. At the same time, outside the village, Marcus glances at his watch. It's already 21 minutes past the agreed time. The reason he set the rendezvous for 4 o'clock is because before 4 o'clock, Longevity Village is relatively safe. Once it passes 4, the sleeping things will wake up, and they'll track the convoy down by scent. By then, there won't even be a chance to run. Right now, in Marcus's senses, 10 kilometers to the southwest, a terrifying oddity is closing in fast. Marcus looks down at his watch again. It's 16:22 now. I'll give you 8 more minutes. If you're not out by 4:30, I'm not waiting. The people in this convoy, I have to keep them all alive. Right now, we're less than 100 meters from the village entrance. I can even hear the branches behind us getting closer. Suddenly, my heart turns ice cold, because I see the hunchback appear again. Bent double, he moves like some ancient mountain hermit. With a single leap, he's right behind us. Every hair on my body stands on end. A near-death terror crushes down on me, and I can barely breathe. But right then, a warm current suddenly floods through my whole body. The darkness ahead shatters instantly, and everything before my eyes turns bright. We've burst out of the village entrance. I can't help but look back, and there's the hunchback, standing in the village's shadow, its twisted, horrifying face turned toward me, wearing a sinister grin. Before anyone outside can even ask what happened, Marcus bends down, grabs a handful of dirt, and puts it in his mouth. The next second, his face changes completely. He immediately orders everyone to leave. Now. Everyone scrambles for the vehicles. I dash toward my motor trike. But when I twist the throttle, I realize I'm out of gas. Luckily, Bao rushes over with a jug of fuel, saying Marcus lent it to me. Once I refill the tank, the trike is barely able to keep up with the convoy. But along the way, something feels seriously wrong. 50% of us went into Longevity Village. Now only a dozen or so are still alive. Especially once night falls, the convoy is surrounded on all sides by the presence of oddities. The nearest one is only 7 or 8 kilometers away. I can even hear a terrifying roar in the distance. At this moment, the two off-road vehicles ahead can't help but speed up. I grip the throttle for all it's worth, but the survivors on foot with the convoy are long gone, left behind out of sight. The entire night, we're like prey fleeing a predator, changing direction over and over until the sky turns pale. The convoy finally stops beneath a highway sign. I look up. We've reached Yan Prefecture. Ahead lies an endless desert. It's the end of November, yet it's as hot here as midsummer. Every breath I take feels like fire scorching my throat. This unnatural weather leaves everyone uneasy. But I don't have the energy to dwell on it. Hours of brutal fighting in Longevity Village have drained both my body and my mind completely. My eyes are ringed with exhaustion, and I barely have the strength left to walk. So I pull out some bread and force it down, then chase it with a bottle of water. Once I've managed to recover a bit of strength, I finally open the system panel, unable to wait any longer. But when I see the kill point total, I nearly jump for joy. The system shows a gain of 7,000 kill points. I don't even hesitate, I redeem a sequence serum on the spot. The next second, a glass syringe appears in my hand. The blue liquid inside glows with a cold, eerie light. I force down my excitement, walk a short distance from the others, roll up my sleeve, and plunge the needle in. There's none of the searing pain I expected. The serum flows through the needle into my body, and every trace of exhaustion vanishes instantly. My limbs feel like they're overflowing with new strength. I close my eyes, trying to feel the change happening inside me. By all accounts, once you become a sequence superhuman, the body should transform noticeably. But I wait a full half hour and feel absolutely nothing. System, why isn't anything changing? Did my awakening fail? Awakening in progress. Please wait, host. How much longer? Awakening in progress. Please wait, host. The system's reply leaves me deeply unsettled, so I decide to try trading for an apocalypse space vehicle instead. But when I see the price, that terrifying string of zeros makes my scalp crawl. Before long, the desert climate starts to make me miserable. There isn't a single scrap of shade anywhere. I dig through the cargo bed and finally find a pair of patterned shorts, along with a pile of women's clothes all left behind by that woman in the yoga pants. I stare at the pile, and an idea suddenly strikes. Why not use them to make a sunshade for the trike? The moment I decide, a system prompt lights up. A detailed hologram of an awning appears before my eyes. Not only will it fully cover the vehicle, it even comes with rain protection. I confirm without hesitation. More than half the clothes in the cargo bed vanish instantly. At the same time, a countdown appears above the motor trike. 4 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. With the desert heat too intense to bear, I glance toward Iron Lion's bus. Plenty of survivors are already sound asleep inside. In the driver's seat sits a young man with glasses, just past 30, who everyone calls Lee. Seeing me approach, Lee climbs down, all smiles, to greet me. This is the first time since the apocalypse I've boarded someone else's vehicle. The cabin is cleaner than I expected. There's even a large bed set up at the back. Iron Lion is stretched out on it, fast asleep. The Titan sequence's strength truly is unmatched, but every transformation drains him completely. Now all he can do is sink into deep sleep to recover. I pick a shaded seat, keeping an eye on the system's countdown, while waiting for Marcus to wake up and hand out supplies. But right then, at the end of the road, an old man's electric trike comes rattling in. Driving it is that sleazy old man. I'd assumed he died back in Longevity Village, but I never expected, having gone into the restricted zone to scavenge twice, he's still alive. He hauls a sky shade tent out of the vehicle, and pulls out several solar charging panels too. Ha ha ha, finally made it. I nearly died in that village, I tell you. Hey, you young folks, not a single one of you respects your elders, not even coming to lend an old man a hand? About 2 hours later, 2 more figures appear at the end of the road on bicycles. They look like they've just crawled out of hell. One of them, I recognize the college student who found the cellar back in Longevity Village. 2 packages are strapped to their bikes. Ethan, Marcus is awake. He's asking for you. The moment Bao says it, I see a few burly men carrying Iron Lion's huge sack toward Marcus's tent. By the rules set for Longevity Village's loot, Marcus and Nana take 30%, and Iron Lion and I take 20%. I walk over to Marcus and find him crouched barefoot on the ground, scooping up a handful of sand and chewing it. It's the Pathfinder sequence's ability connecting with the earth to sense the presence of oddities. The sand is the perfect medium for it. I get it, but what does sand actually taste like? What else would sand taste like? It tastes like sand. Even as a Pathfinder sequence, I'm still human. No different from any of you. So what did you sense? We can stay here until 9 tomorrow morning. I don't fully understand how the Pathfinder sequence works, but Marcus's ability still leaves me in awe. If it weren't for him, this whole convoy probably wouldn't have made it this far. It also makes me look forward to my own sequence powers. Iron Lion is still deep asleep in the bus. The bus has picked up new members, and the camp's numbers have gotten a small boost. Jessica keeps rallying survivors to her cause, trying to overthrow the convoy's current leadership. But the disaster at Longevity Village has badly weakened her standing. Overthrowing this convoy's rule is proving harder than she expected. Ever since Marcus got his hands on the eavesdropper radio, his habit of listening in on others has gotten worse and worse. Hearing secrets no one else knows is when Marcus is happiest. He sets the radio down and tells Bao to gather everyone. Before long, all the survivors gather at the largest section of the temporary camp, behind Nana and Lee, each dragging a massive backpack. Plenty of survivors throw envious looks their way. Bow, how many of us didn't make it back this time? The convoy started with 124. Now there are only 44 left. Longevity Village alone, plus last night's flight, claimed 80 lives. 80 people lost in a single night. Before the apocalypse, a death toll like that would have shocked the entire world. But now, it's just another day we're forced to accept. Then, Nana recounts everything that happened in Longevity Village. Marcus doesn't say a word but listens with total focus. Especially when the hunchback comes up, everyone's face turns pale at the same time. That thing never attacked us head-on. It just followed from a distance, like a hunter patiently stalking prey. That means it might not be a simple monster anymore. Ethan, what do you think? My answer is that the oddities are slowly growing stronger, possibly even developing intelligence. The moment I say it, a chill runs down everyone's spine. Oddities are already nearly impossible to fight. Add intelligence to that, and it truly would be the end of humanity. After a long silence, Bao lets out a dry laugh. Ha! Forget it, no point thinking about it. The world's already this messed up. How much worse can it get? Since Iron Lion is still deep asleep, Lee handles the supply distribution on his behalf. Following the ratio agreed on earlier, even with just my 20% share, the pile of supplies forms a small mountain. I pull the motor trike over and start loading everything into the cargo bed. The bed, once fairly empty, is packed to bursting in no time. Before long, dusk starts to fall. At the same time, a notification pops up. The trike shed's upgrade is complete. I look up, and there it is, a motor trike standing under the moonlight, with a patchwork canopy fitted over the cargo bed. It's rough around the edges, more like a hastily jury-rigged delivery trike. Ethan, is this your new ride? A voice full of admiration comes from behind me. I turn and see Nana holding a can of beer, walking around the trike half drunk. This used to be a bicycle. It hasn't even been that long, and it's already turned into this. Guess that engineer cover story of yours isn't just for show. Nana laughs and pats my shoulder. If anyone's going to make something of themselves in this apocalypse, you're one of them. After a short exchange, I trade 4 cans of beer for the whole pack of cigarettes in Nana's hand, and a blanket. But no sooner has she walked off than I notice something strange happening to my body. It should be pitch black, can't see your hand darkness right now, but I can somehow see more clearly than ever. In the distance, a curvy young woman follows close behind the sleazy old man, and climbs into his electric trike with him. My whole body is quietly changing, so I fight down the restlessness inside me, light a cigarette, and lie down on the sand, trying to force myself to relax. But right then a smoke ring rises slowly from my lips. It's almost perfectly round. In all my years of smoking, I've never blown a ring this perfect. This isn't just practice getting better, my body is transforming. My heart lurches. I immediately ask the system, has my awakening finished? Host sequence superhuman awakening complete. The instant the system's message appears, I feel dragged into an endless river of stars. A strange, wondrous energy courses endlessly through my body. As my body strengthens, layer by layer, a flood of information unfamiliar yet somehow known pours straight into my mind. Supernatural path. Smoke apostle sequence. Rank 1. My eyes snap open. My whole body trembles, unable to stop from the sheer excitement. I pull another cigarette from the pack, light it, and as the smoke pours out through my nose, it slowly spreads out around me, forming a protective ring about a meter wide. This is my first ability, Smoke Aura. Even just a single drag will, as my sequence rank rises over time, eventually be able to blanket several kilometers. I focus my will again. The smoke twists suddenly, coiling into the rough shape of a small rabbit, but it only holds for a few seconds before collapsing apart, dissolving back into shapeless smoke. This is my second ability, Basic Smoke Shaping. It can take the form of almost anything, even mimicking the shape of an oddity, and the last ability is the one that really gets my heart racing, Nicotine Tolerance. As long as I have cigarettes, I can keep growing stronger, endlessly. But the excitement doesn't last long. My left eye suddenly goes hazy, my vision fading noticeably, right before my eyes. I suddenly remember something Iron Lion told me: every sequence superhuman pays a price. Marcus is always barefoot for his. Titan sequence users take a hit to their intelligence. And mine is the deterioration of my left eye. Right now, I finally understand the cost. But I don't have time to dwell on fear. My newly awakened power leaves me buzzing with energy, so I immediately pull up the system's upgrade tool and start sketching out a new plan, strip the wheels off 2 bicycles from the roadside, and weld them into a sturdy frame for the trike's canopy. This way, the shed won't just be far sturdier, I can rig a luggage rack up top too, and free up rest space inside the bed. Thanks to my improved physical abilities, I strip the bicycles apart at a startling speed. The only problem, the frames are welded solid. I don't have any cutting tools. System, can you upgrade these materials into a canopy reinforcement kit? Consume 362 kill points. Process and upgrade the current materials. 300 kill points. I hesitate for just a moment, then confirm. Right away, a countdown appears above the pile of bicycle parts, a processing timer. 0 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. While the timer runs, I start training my newly awakened abilities. One moment I twist the smoke around me into the silhouette of a fierce tiger, the next I stretch it out into a coiling giant python. Smoke mimicry is my strongest offensive tool right now. Going forward, when I face an enemy, my plan is to blind them with smoke first, then tear a gap open with a sudden mimic strike. Your kit upgrade is complete. An hour flies by in the blink of an eye. I get up right away and walk over to the finished parts. Where the scattered bicycle frames used to lie, now there's a neat stack of fitted components, as if custom built for my trike. I pull up my toolbox and start mounting the brackets onto the cargo bed. With every steel pipe locked into place, the canopy's frame grows more solid. By the time I tighten the last bolt, the whole canopy feels like it's grown a spine. It looks noticeably sturdier now. I figure with this sense of security I can finally sleep easy. But then my hand brushes against something long and thin. Under the moonlight, I get a clear look at it. It's a branch from that giant willow back in Longevity Village. At first I mean to just toss it out of the shed, but the moment I lift my hand, a wild idea flashes through my mind. This branch came from that Oddity willow itself. My crossbow's string is already worn thin. If I use this to repair it, it might just turn my crossbow into an artifact. That would give my combat strength a serious boost going forward. With that thought, I lay the branch and the crossbow side by side. System, can you fuse and upgrade the branch with the crossbow? Upgrade requires 5,000 kill points. Host's kill points are insufficient. Keep it up, host. After countless rounds of upgrading, my 7,000 plus kill points have dwindled to just over 4,000. Still a long way short of the goal. I have no choice but to give it up, for now. As the night deepens, the temperature plummets at a ridiculous rate. Thankfully, I upgraded the canopy in time. But when dawn arrives, the temperature spikes right back up. One by one, the survivors, faces caked with dust and grime, crawl out of the bus. There are real perks to joining the convoy, but the price is that all your supplies go through Lee for distribution. Limouths rubs his sleepy eyes. He's long since stopped dressing as a girl. My mouth feels disgusting. I want to brush my teeth. Are you crazy? It's the apocalypse. Out here in the desert, water's worth more than gold. Lauren glares hard at her brother, but faced with his pleading, she gives in anyway. The two of them sneak off to an empty corner, sharing half a cup of water to brush their teeth in secret. I watch it all happen, and all I can do is shake my head and laugh grimly. To me, water right now is the line between living and dying. Hey, Ethan, what happened to your eye? Iron Lion's startled shout suddenly rings in my ear. I freeze for a second, and only then realize my left eye has turned completely white. It makes me stick out badly in the crowd. It's nothing, I awakened a second sequence last night. What? You awakened a second sequence? The news of my second sequence spreads through the crowd instantly. Dual sequences sound great, but they come with double the price. Can you actually handle that? I take a deep drag on my cigarette. I can't worry about all that. Whatever comes later, I'll deal with it later. So what's your second sequence? I don't answer directly. I just blow out a smoke ring, and under everyone's stunned, wary stares, it shapes itself into a small cat. The cat weaves lightly around their ankles. The Smoke Apostle. That's a supernatural path sequence. Understand this, there are hundreds of sequence types out there. Take Iron Lion's Titan sequence, or Nana's Sword Immortal sequence, both of those fall under the melee path. But you can control smoke that naturally puts you on the supernatural path, or what some call the superpower path. I'm about to press Marcus for more details, but right then, a scream suddenly tears through the noise of the camp. Someone's dead. I whip my head around, and see a woman in the distance, her face gripped with terror, her finger trembling as she points at a tent ahead. I stride over quickly. Inside the tent, a man lies perfectly still. Looking at his stiffened face, I barely need a second to know how he died. Last night's temperature plunge caught him without enough warm clothing. The freezing desert night simply took his life. What's crueler still, he chose not to sleep in the bus last night. Sleeping in the bus is safe, but the price is handing over all your supplies for Lee to manage. For a lot of people, that's a hard trade to accept. If I hadn't awakened as a sequenced superhuman, or hadn't stockpiled enough supplies, I could easily have frozen to death out here last night instead. The somber mood lingers all the way until 9 in the morning. The convoy sets out right on schedule. My upgraded trike canopy is certainly sturdy, but it's added dozens of pounds of weight, and the wind drag from the roof doesn't help either. Even with the throttle pinned to the floor, I can't keep pace with the convoy ahead. Even that old man's electric trike outruns me. Attention, there's something up ahead. I instinctively grab the crossbow off my belt, but before I can even draw the string, it snaps clean off. So I just toss the crossbow aside and pull my machete out instead. What I see ahead makes my chest tighten. Dozens of vehicles are strewn across the highway, every which way. From a distance, it looks like the scene of some catastrophic multi-car pileup. Marcus crouches down quickly, scoops up a handful of sand, and pops it in his mouth, the signal that he's activating his Pathfinder ability. I immediately ask him, "What's going on up there?" "You can see it yourselves, a convoy up ahead got wrecked in a crash. We can't get through." "Is it an oddity?" "No oddity. This one's simple enough for you, go take a look." The college student leaps down off the bus, jumps on a motorbike, and speeds off toward the wreck. Everyone holds their breath, waiting. Just a few minutes later, he comes riding back, a strange look on his face. There's no one in any of the cars up there, not even a body. The moment he says it, a cold shiver runs through everyone. 50 meters from the crash site, the convoy pulls to a stop. Iron Lion can't wait, he strides ahead first. Just in case, I take a deep drag on my cigarette. The smoke pours out through my nose and coils into a thin, barely visible smoke veil around me. Not until Iron Lion glances back and signals the all clear do I finally relax. But right after that, another feeling surges up in me. So many vehicles here, even if most of them are wrecked beyond use, if I can find even one that fits my needs, I'll finally be free of that beat-up trike. But picking a vehicle isn't just about looks, it needs to be tough and fuel-efficient too. Not far off, a Jeep Wrangler is tipped over at the roadside, its chassis crushed out of shape. An idea strikes me, and I speak up right away. System, scan this vehicle. Condition rating 69%, fully repairable and usable, currently not drivable. If I fully repair it, how many kill points would that take? How long would it take? Repair time, 7 days, 12 hours. Kill point cost, 13,728.7. Over 10,000 points. I nearly choke on my own smoke. But right then, peering through the window, I spot something interesting in the trunk, so I just force the trunk open, no hesitation. Inside are two 30-liter steel fuel drums, the kind long-haul overlanders always carry as backup. Since there's fuel here, I'm not about to let it go to waste. I quickly unscrew the fuel cap, pull out a hose, and start siphoning gas from car to car. Half an hour later, I finally filled the second drum. But getting back to the point, the real prize is a vehicle. After searching around, the only real find is a Japanese-made SUV with a bullhead badge. But the system says it'll take half a day to repair. Since a straight vehicle swap isn't an option, I have to find another way, strip every part I can carry, and use them to upgrade my own beat-up trike instead. Before I can even finish the thought, a massive boom rumbles from nearby. I whip around. Iron Lion has already transformed into a 3-meter giant, and with both hands he's tearing straight out of the sand, hauling out an entire yellow school bus. I've been planning to talk to him about hauling the Japanese-made SUV out too. But right then, the sand nearby suddenly starts to shift. A rotting desert lizard pokes its head out from beneath it, green eyes locked squarely on us. It tilts its head slightly, as if confirming something, then bolts off into the distance fast. A bad feeling grips me instantly. I turn, and see Marcus's expression darken in a heartbeat. Bow, tell everyone, now we're leaving immediately. Didn't you say we had another half hour? There's no time left, we go now. Bow's face goes pale. The next second he scrambles into the vehicle, and flips on the convoy broadcast immediately. Attention, attention everyone, move out now. While the survivors are still frozen, confused, Lee's already leaning out, urging everyone to board. Iron Lion, one more favor, I need this car's engine. Fine, but we're really running short on time. With that, he transforms into the 3-meter giant again, rips the Wrangler's hood open in one motion, and yanks the engine straight out. At the same time, I strip all 4 wheels off, clean and fast, and load them into the trike's bed. But right then, I spot a small electric buggy nearby, so I grab a rope, and no hesitation tie the little buggy to the back of my trike. Lauren, look at that Ethan over there, he's biting off way more than he can chew. With that beat-up trike, the tires are about to burst. There's no way it'll move. What looks like a reckless move doesn't worry me one bit. I even have time to spare to light a cigarette. The next moment, smoke surges violently outward, and a team of smoke-formed warhorses leap out, hauling my trike forward at a full gallop. What in the world? That's a sequence superhuman power. The gap that was about to swallow me whole closes back up in the blink of an eye. But barely more than 10 minutes in, my head starts throbbing with a low hum. The smoke horses start to look thin and unstable, like they could dissolve at any moment. Not until we finally reach the new camp do plenty of survivors' eyes swing straight toward me, quite a few of them dripping with envy, jealousy, resentment. Iron Lion, shouldering the heavy engine, walks up to me, a big, honest grin on his face. This whole run, if he hadn't transformed and helped me strip that wreck, I never would have scored this much. To thank him for it, I spend 150 kill points to help him fix up the yellow bus. After dinner, I can't help but tally up today's haul. 1 small electric buggy, plus a 2 trillions Wrangler engine, and those 4 all-terrain tires. If I can piece all of this together onto my trike, it'll become a genuine hybrid monster. Vehicle system, I need an upgrade. The next second, a glowing hourglass hovers over the trike. And by the time I snap back to reality, 6,000 of my 14,000 kill points are already gone. Upgrading the artifact eats up another 5,000. In just a few quick decisions, my kill point balance is scraped almost dry. It's already 11 at night. The desert temperature is dropping fast. One by one, the survivors pull their clothes tighter around them. Those with vehicles duck inside for warmth. Those without huddle around campfires, barely getting by. But it's not time for me to rest yet. There's something I've had on my mind, trading with Marcus for a solar charging panel. Once I get my hands on one, it won't just get my digital watch running again, it could even power my apocalypse pickup. So I go straight to find Marcus. Ethan, you never show up empty-handed. Middle of the night, coming to find me, just say what you want. I don't waste words, I just point at the solar panel behind him. I only meant to trade for it. But the moment Marcus opens his mouth, I almost choke laughing out of pure frustration. A beat-up panel for 20 kilos of rice? Too pricey? Then go find old man Zhang, he's got a whole stash of panels, and his prices are 10 times worse than mine. Come on, that's just highway robbery. Not at all, not at all. You're just one guy, of course supplies don't hurt you. I've got this many mouths to feed. I'm tighter on supplies than you are. Oh, and you still owe me a 15-liter can of gas. When are you planning to pay that back? Watching me squirm, he's clearly enjoying himself. Then he switches tone entirely. But hey, if you really think it's too much, I've got another panel here broken. Doesn't work at all, but that shouldn't be a problem for you. If you want it, I'll charge you half price. With that, he walks straight to a large 30-inch travel case, the one he keeps specifically for supplies. My eyes follow his hands, and right then, he casually pulls out a piece of red hide from the case, setting it aside. That instant, my heart jumps. This thing I remember vividly. I saw it once before, at the last trading fair. I'm nearly certain this isn't ordinary leather at all. It's some kind of artifact-grade material. System, what is this hide? Spend 100 kill points to identify? What, it needs kill points just to identify? My heart skips. The system has never asked for a fee like this for ordinary items. This is definitely no ordinary thing. System, what is this hide? Spend 100 kill points to identify? Confirm. Identification complete. Item name, the Skinner's Scalp. This item can be crafted into an artifact ranked around number 2000. There is a chance of side effects. I hold my excitement in check, taking a deep breath. While it's nowhere near the level of the eavesdropper radio Marcus carries, it's still top-tier artifact material. Ethan, I guess you want this, right? I probe him carefully about a trade. But Marcus doesn't answer directly. Instead, he cradles the red hide carefully in both hands and explains its origin. Before you joined the convoy, a survivor went out to scavenge supplies and brought this back. But just a few days later, he turned up dead in his own tent. Every inch of skin stripped clean off his body. I'd planned on trading it with another convoy for something decent, but since you want it, fine, let's trade. Hearing all this, a chill crawls up my spine, but at least I still have the upgrade system, so I pay a brutal price just to get my hands on that red hide plus that broken solar panel. Ethan, don't blame me for being cold-hearted. I've got a whole convoy to feed. This stuff barely covers a fraction of what we need. Once I have it in hand, I can't wait to head back to the trike shed and examine it. But just as I approach the trike, a shivering figure suddenly appears in front of me. It's a woman with striking, seductive looks. Despite her face being pale with cold, she still radiates an impossible-to-ignore charm. My name is Lena Zhu. I came to warn you someone means to hurt you. You need to be careful. You came all this way just to tell me that? Yes. You're a good person. I don't want anything bad happening to a good person. So can you tell me who's targeting me? I can't say. If I did, they'd come after me, and if you found out, you'd fight back against them too. I don't want to see anyone else get hurt, not when the world's already like this. I'm not much interested in a woman playing the damsel like this. I don't pay her much mind, just tossing her a candy bar out of pity. She struggles to look away though. I'm telling you this without wanting anything from you in return. Get some rest. Good night. With that, she sways off, vanishing quickly into the distance. Not long before this, Lena had just stepped off the bus, and before she could even let out a breath of frosty air, Jessica had already blocked her path. Jessica's very first line was to call out how unfair this convoy is. Despite sharing the same surname, in that moment, Lena instinctively takes a half step back from her. Jessica, meanwhile, grows more and more worked up, complaining about why women should have to cook for men, sometimes even getting insulted for it, while still going hungry themselves while the men do nothing at all and enjoy the results without a shred of guilt. Is that a fair way to live? Faced with Jessica losing control like this, Lena almost regrets ever coming out for fresh air this late at night. Right after, Jessica's words take a darker turn. She's already worked out a plan. Start with Ethan, the weakest link. Get control of him and Marcus's grip on the convoy will crumble bit by bit. Then Jessica takes over as leader and Lena becomes deputy. Together, they'll build a utopia of their own for women in this ruined world. The moment she finishes, Lena's palm cracks across her face, leaving Jessica frozen in shock. Lena, I'll kill you. But before she can even close a step toward Lena, Fu, passing by, catches her and holds her back. Hey now, Jessica, don't be so reckless. We're all in the same convoy here. Get out of my way, Fu, move it right now. Today I'm tearing that bitch apart. Meanwhile, off to the side, Lena plays the frightened victim, and that alone is enough to trigger every man around into protective mode. Jessica, calm down. Whatever it is, let's just talk it out. We're all in this together. Right, don't be rash. This has to be some kind of misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Bullshit misunderstanding. You bunch of idiots, why is everyone stopping me? Are you all, is it because it's Lena and she's so gorgeous? Now that she's got a man on her side, you're all playing the good guys trying to hold me back? How could you think that of me? The reason I hit you was for your own good. Don't you already know why? In that moment, she looks utterly pitiful, even though she's the one who threw the actual punch. Somehow, in everyone else's eyes, she ends up looking like the victim. I have to admit this woman's acting is on another level. As for Jessica's rage, Lena doesn't take it seriously at all. To her, it's just the powerless fury of a fool. Fine, give me 3 days. If I can't win Ethan over in 3 days, I'll call it a loss. Lena's original plan had been to make Marcus her anchor. As the convoy's leader, he holds the highest authority around. If she could just lean on someone that powerful, she'd be set to survive this apocalypse comfortably. But she never expected Marcus turns out to be completely, utterly indifferent to romance. Female charm holds zero appeal for him. Even when she moves in close on purpose, he doesn't so much as flicker. As for Iron Lion, she's even less inclined to try. She simply can't handle that hulking 2-meter frame. So her attention finally turns to me. In her eyes, I'm the only normal man left in this whole convoy. And that's why, the moment Jessica showed up, that seemingly innocent little confession scene was staged. I have to say this woman is operating on a whole different level. That whole exchange between me and her just now, it was seen perfectly clearly by everyone inside the bus. That's no coincidence. It was Lena's deliberate move. There's nothing at all between her and me, but to everyone else watching it looks like there's something murky, some undefined connection between us. And that's exactly her calculation. Once that false impression of intimacy takes hold, every dirty old man who had designs on her will have to think twice about how I might react, because a sequence superhuman who loses his temper is nothing short of a disaster for ordinary people like them. And no one would ever believe I could actually resist Lena's charm anyway. Still, I quickly push these tangled thoughts aside and go back to examining that strange willow branch. The system gives me its answer quickly. This item was cut from a nearby willow tree by an unnamed person. It qualifies as ordinary artifact material. Though it's nowhere near the value of the Skinner's scalp, I still tuck it away carefully all the same. Early the next morning, the moment the vehicle upgrade finishes, a wheelless Apocalypse pickup stands revealed before me. Its imposing, powerful frame looks like it was custom built for me. To save on kill points in the next moment, I mount all 4 all-terrain tires onto it myself. Just as I pull out the jack, though, a strikingly beautiful face suddenly appears in my line of sight. It's Lena, and in her hand she's holding a hex wrench. Ethan, you look like you could use a hand, so I thought I'd come help. I don't even bother letting her finish. I just take the wrench from her and keep turning bolts, because whatever game she's playing, I know exactly what it is. It's the end of the world. I don't have time for romance. And I definitely don't need dead weight tagging along. Even if danger comes, I won't hesitate to use her as a shield. She can never know I think this way. And yet, just because I haven't chased her off, she looks almost happy. Soon I finish mounting all 4 tires. Just by looking at it, it holds up against the 2 modified off-roaders in the convoy. The whole time, Lena Shu works quietly beside me. Somehow, before I even ask, she hands me the exact tool I need. To save on kill points, I install the engine myself. The moment the Apocalypse pickup comes together, I feel a thrill like never before. Finally, I'm not the bottom of the pack anymore. I climb in and start the engine. The roar quickly draws the attention of other survivors. Whoa, Ethan. Not bad at all. Guess that's real engineering skill. How'd he do this? Built a beast like this overnight? Is this what the engineer sequence can do? After all, in a world crawling with oddities, who wouldn't want to ride like this? But Marcus reacts stronger than anyone. A junk tricycle turned into a full Apocalypse vehicle overnight. Even his eavesdropping radio picks up nothing unusual. His lips twitch with excitement he can't hide. Ethan's definitely hiding something big. So what if he is? Who in this convoy doesn't have secrets? But none of them know as much as I do. Ethan, get out. Let me try it. The words are barely out before Nana's already in the driver's seat. A second later, she's complaining. Ugh, this interior's a mess. And it's a manual? Really? While everyone else is drooling over your work, I'm the only one who cares if you're eating. Let's see you slip out of my grip this time. Nana slams the gas. The truck lurches forward like a bolting horse. The survivors nearby can't react in time. They scatter in terror. One old man shrieks over and over. When the truck finally stops, it's less than 2 meters from him. He opens his mouth to curse, then meets Nana's ice-cold stare. He swallows every word. Because in the eyes of ordinary people, a sequenced superhuman is basically a god who holds life and death. Once the crowd disperses, it's time to plan my next artifact upgrade. But just then, Lena appears out of nowhere with a steaming bowl of noodles for me. A fried egg floats on top, along with 2 bright green leaves. I freeze for a second. Where did she even get an egg? And even more absurd, this is the desert. Where did she conjure fresh vegetables from? Ethan, I made this egg noodle bowl for you myself. Go on, eat. I'm heading back to eat too. With that right in front of me, she sways off. Wow, Ethan's truck is amazing. Yeah, that pickup's insane. Guess that's the engineer sequence for you. Just from that brief exchange with Lena, the survivors around us look at her with envy. Their gazes are far gentler than before. Even the creepy old man gives her a fawning little smile. After breakfast, I head back to my truck to start upgrading 4 artifacts. Material system, fuse the Skinner's hide with the cleaver. How many kill points? How many kill points does this need? Upgrade requires 30,000 kill points, 86 hours. I try fusing the Skinner's scalp with a crossbow instead. Same price, 30,000 points, too expensive. I scrap both options at once. Then another idea hits me. If black dog blood can hurt oddities, then it counts as an artifact in its own right. Material system, try fusing black dog blood with the cleaver. Item, common black dog blood. Fusing with the cleaver costs 5,000 kill points. That I can afford. I confirm without hesitation. An hourglass appears above the cleaver. Countdown, 12 hours, 29 minutes. Attention, survivors. We depart in 10 minutes. Bao's voice blares through the camp again. Everyone grabs their bags and boards the bus. I hit the gas. This brand new Apocalypse pickup is about to make its first migration run. The convoy rolls out. Marcus's off-roader takes the lead, with Nana's jet-black SUV close behind. But we haven't gone far when, ahead on the road, two burned-out car husks block our path. A young man steps out of Marcus's car. His name is Will Wang, the third rider in Marcus's off-roader. Bao usually handles the convoy's day-to-day business. Will is the errand-running driver. I walk over. Will's crouched by the burned cars checking them out. Each holds two charred, unrecognizable bodies. Nothing worth salvaging. Attention, attention. The road ahead is blocked. We need to leave the paved route. A crowd gathers around Marcus asking what's going on. No choice, it's too dangerous ahead. Push through, and none of us make it. It's that bad? It's that bad. We've got 4 sequence superhumans, but run into a real monster out there, and we could all end up wiped out. Fine, fine. Off-road it is. Our vehicles can handle it. Don't worry too much. Just don't push straight ahead and we'll be fine. Let some air out of the tires first. I do as Marcus says. I deflate all 4 tires, then climb back into the cab. When the blood moon rises again, Marcus finally calls a stop. It's already 9 at night. After a full day on the move, my cleaver finishes upgrading. A coil of grudge-bound willow wraps around the handle. Before I can react, the system floods my mind with information. This item is the Vengeance Cleaver. No, 4879. Use 1. The blade holds an innate edge against oddities. Use 2. Once forged, the willow forms a tether, granting blade control ability. Use 3. Under a blood moon. All above effects are greatly amplified. Ability: the Vengeance Cleaver absorbs grudge energy. Once enough accumulates, it may even undergo a transformation. Cost: must be fed the host's blood daily. Taboo: never unsheath it before bloodkin, or the blade will turn on your own family. I can feel it clearly. The willow fuses with my nerves as if part of me. Every angle, every swing of the cleaver I can now control with pure thought. Stranger still, under the blood moon's glow, the blade trembles just slightly. I have no idea how they number these things, but just from the feel of it, this blade is worth every point. I draw the blade lightly across my skin. Crimson beads trickle down the edge. The next instant, the cleaver drinks it in like a starving beast feeding until I feel a faint discomfort, only then reluctantly stopping. Next, I start repairing the ruined solar panel. Thankfully, this step is simple. Just 100 kill points, and it's done. The next morning, I open my eyes to find the solar panel good as new. I want to push further and upgrade it, to free the pickup's power system entirely from fuel dependence. But when the system quotes 50,000 kill points, I fall silent. I'm just starting to figure out if I can borrow points somehow when, in the camp, a terrified scream suddenly rips through the air. It's a sandstorm! A sandstorm's coming! The moment I hear the word I look up, a wall of dirty yellow sky is rolling in on the horizon like a beast about to swallow the earth. Some survivors wet themselves on the spot. What are you standing around for? Run! The camp erupts into chaos. People scatter like they've been stung. I dive into the truck's cab, but we've barely moved before that yellow wall is already on top of us. Marcus, you're a pathfinder. How did you not sense a storm this size? I'm a pathfinder, not a weatherman. I can sense oddities. I don't forecast storms. The wind howls in every direction. Then a piercing cry cuts through it. Ethan, save my sister! I turn my head. Zoe is waving frantically at me, and her sister Lauren is only now stumbling out from behind a dune. Mine is the closest truck to them. I don't have the slightest urge to stop. In my book, no matter how pretty someone is, my own life comes first. Ethan, please, save my sister! Cries for help pour in from every side. A man suddenly bolts in front of the truck. Ethan, save me! 3 or 4 more like him have fallen behind. Now they're all running blind. One even throws his arms wide, desperately trying to block my truck. I ignore all of them. I floor the gas. The storm closes in behind us. Visibility drops fast ahead. All I can do is stay glued to the convoy's tail. But we can't keep driving blind forever. Push on this way, and one obstacle, or one lost connection with the convoy, is enough to finish us. I'm about to radio the convoy to slow down, when I suddenly notice Marcus and Nana's cars have already stopped. Even Iron Lion's yellow school bus sits steady in place. We quickly circle around the bus into a half-moon formation to blunt the storm's impact. Through the window, I watch a man on a motorcycle get lifted clean off the ground and vanish into the storm. The bus door bangs open. Iron Lion's massive frame climbs out. His body visibly swells before my eyes. He's got a thick rope in hand, pushing against the wind between the vehicles. This guy, he's actually trying to lash every truck together. But the wind's too strong. Even a 10-foot wall of muscle staggers under it. Ethan, help me! Are you trying to get killed? But I know I have no choice but to get out. If these trucks get swept away, my pickup goes with them. Pushing through the storm, I haul the rope alongside Iron Lion, circling the convoy again and again. Iron Lion twists his arms, cinches the rope into a solid knot, then plants himself like a stake, driven deep into the sand. On my end, a flick of my wrist sends the grudge-bound willow snapping straight around the rope. The Vengeance Cleaver slams down, carving a deep pit into the sand. Blowing sand quickly buries the hole, but the rope is already anchored, unmovable. Ethan, you're something else. Even as I grit my teeth, gripping the willow tight, I feel that eerie presence creeping closer. I don't know how long passes before the raging storm finally dies down. By then, I'm almost buried in sand. Thankfully, using the willow's strength, I drag myself free. But the storm costs me dearly. The roof rack is stripped apart. The supplies I tied down so carefully are simply gone. Ethan, thank God you're okay. You scared me half to death. I'm fine. What about you? How bad's the damage on food and supplies? Ethan. My sister Zoe charges at me, a fruit knife clenched in her fist, hatred twisting her face. I exhale a breath of smoke. It coils like a living dragon and binds her hands and feet. Ethan, you killed my sister. I'll kill you. When exactly did you see me kill her? If it weren't for you, if you just stopped to save her, she'd still be alive. Bullshit. If I'd stopped, I'd be the one dead. Zoe, are you out of your mind? Why should I have saved you? Sister, why? While no one knows how to calm her down, Marcus climbs out of his car. Watch out, there's an oddity. The words are barely out before a horrifying human face lunges out, jaws snapping straight at Zoe. There's no time to dodge when Iron Lion's fist slams into the creature, hurling the man-faced scorpion back several meters. Zoe, run. Just then, Fu is already there, dragging Zoe's trembling legs backward. It's a massive man-faced scorpion. And the most dangerous part is the human face embedded on top of its head. I slowly exhale a cloud of smoke. The smoke instantly spreads into a gray haze, masking the presence of everyone in our group. It's still daytime. Its power is partly suppressed. We'd better finish it before sunrise, or we're all dead. The words are barely out of Marcus's mouth before Nana draws the sword at her hip, and Iron Lion roars, charging in again. Iron Fist! The blow crashes into the scorpion's eerie face. It hurts! It hurts! But in the next instant, the twisted face on its head shifts into Lauren's. Everyone freezes. Why does it have my sister's face? Ethan, why didn't you save me? If you just stopped, I wouldn't have had to die. Ethan, I want you dead. Before it finishes speaking, my vengeance cleaver is already flying, straight at that false face. In the opening, Iron Lion and Nana surge forward too. Crimson Mark, become my breath. Sword soul, fuse with my form. Drink deep of my blood. Cry out with 3 souls. With a low chant, Nana's blade carves into the scorpion's thick shell. Scar after scar. Chan, look at me. Who am I? Just as her blade is about to pierce through, the scorpion's face shifts again into a middle-aged woman's. Nana's hand freezes mid-strike. Chan, do you remember me? I'm your beloved sister. You ate me, I don't blame you. We're finally one now. You are me, I am you. As expected, oddities are never something brute force alone can solve. Luckily, Iron Lion senses something's wrong. He barrels through the tail's strike, twin fists crashing down. Boss, who am I? The face twists again as time into a middle-aged man. Don't look at it. But by the time I shout, it's too late. Iron Lion's eyes are already red-rimmed. His mind is nearly swallowed by the illusion. I know if the 3 of us go down, the whole convoy dies here. So I keep swinging the vengeance cleaver at that massive face. No matter whose face it wears, even if it were my own family, I don't hesitate for a second. I take a deep breath and use the thick smoke to blind its senses. Then I shape the smoke into fanged coils, sending them straight at that face, tearing into it without mercy. Marcus dashes back to his off-roader, digs out a bag of black dog blood, and throws it to me. I time it perfectly and hurl it straight at the scorpion's head, stunning it long enough that it can't strike back. Seeing Nana and Iron Lion frozen in place, I run over and slap Nana across the face, then backhand Iron Lion too. Both finally snap out of it. 10 minutes later, within the rolling smoke, spine-chilling shrieks echo out. The nearby survivors' legs shake with fear. Every so often, through the haze, they catch glimpses of giant smoke dragons tearing at the monster. I stay behind Iron Lion's massive frame, letting him absorb most of the attacks. Nana brings her sword down in one stroke, cleaving off half the scorpion's skull. At the same instant, my vengeance cleaver plunges deep into what's left. You have slain the man-faced scorpion. Reward, 20,000 kill points. Just as I'm about to check the loot, Nana suddenly raises her hand and slaps me. Ethan, that's me returning the favor. You're such a jerk. Did you really put your whole strength behind that? Still, I never expected we'd actually kill an oddity. Ever since the apocalypse began, rumors of oddities being killed have never stopped, but they were always just rumors. Today the impossible actually happened. Marcus emerges from behind the ruins, eyes locked on the scorpion's corpse the whole time. I've heard of a Sequence 2 superhuman who once killed an oddity single-handedly. The words Sequence 2 are barely out before Nana bristles like a cat with its tail stepped on. If that's true, then it means what we did today doesn't even come close. You still know so little about this world. Sequence power, you've barely tapped half of it. Even the Sword Immortal sequence unique to Xia Nation has far more potential than this. Don't disappoint me. And Ethan, the supernatural path is just as formidable. Without you, we probably wouldn't have made it today. With that, Marcus's feet drift forward on their own, eyes fixed where the scorpion's corpse is dissolving. A jet-black shell lies in the sand. I have the system identify it at once. Item, man-faced scorpion shell. Origin, dropped by a man-faced scorpion slain by 3 sequence superhumans. A dropped item. This shell has exceptional defensive properties. Forged into a defensive artifact, it would be a highly valuable piece of gear. Ethan, Marcus's. There's another one over here. At Nana's voice, Marcus practically teleports to her side. It's an entire strip of soft human-looking skin. I instinctively snatch it up. The system's appraisal appears at once. Item, man-face scorpion skin. Possesses powerful shape-shifting and self-repair abilities. A rare artifact material. We really hit the jackpot this time. Marcus can't stop his lips from curling into a grin. Then he notices I'm just as interested in the skin, and his smile turns a little sly. Killing that scorpion. Without any one of us, it wouldn't be dead right now. So this skin, and that shell, all four of us get a share. You don't object, do you? What objection could I have? This victory cost every one of us. Take away any single piece, and the outcome could have been completely different. Besides, this fight cost me plenty too. As the sun sinks slowly, I go straight to check on my pickup. The body's more or less intact, but both side windows have been shattered by the storm. Thankfully, the system scan shows the core structure is still sound. But when I turn to look at the convoy, I fall silent. After the storm, our already thin numbers have thinned further. We left Longevity Village with over 40 people. Now we're barely under 30. Bao counts survivors while muttering to himself. He's barely in his 40s, but tonight he looks 10 years older. Ethan, we've lost too many people. Let's start eating meals together from now on. It'll save resources. Everyone still handles their own ingredients, though. I think it over and nod. Just like Marcus said, it's communal meals from now on. That night, everyone sits around the fire, eating in silent, survivors of the day's near death. Once I finish sorting my gear, I check the system. My kill points have already climbed to 30,000. This fight earned me far more than just that skin and shell. The moment the scorpion died, I saw it with my own eyes, a wisp of gray resentment absorbed into the vengeance cleaver. I draw the cleaver from my hip. A faint dark pattern ripples across the blade. I can feel it growing stronger. This weapon is going to be my trump card on the road to real power. Just as I'm weighing how to spend those 30,000 points, Nana wobbles over with a case of beer. Hey, can you handle your liquor? Watching her sway drunkenly, I get up to head back to my tent, only for her to throw an arm around my neck. Ethan, did I say you could leave? I turn my head and find myself staring into a pair of pitiful, pleading eyes. Marcus, watching nearby, gets a knowing look on his face. Well, you two just take your time. I'll head off first. Marcus, it's not what you think. I get it, don't worry. No one will bother you two. Marcus, you son of a Nana's grip is locked tight around me. There's no breaking free. Out of respect for her as the convoy's top fighter, I swallow my annoyance and wait to hear what she wants. Nana, you've had too much. I have not. This is nothing. Ethan, listen to me. My name isn't really Nana. It's Qianqian. Nana was my sister. Only now do I realize Nana's hiding something huge. Marcus, meanwhile, scurries back to his car and flips on the eavesdropping radio. For him, this is better than dinner. Maybe that battle with the man-faced scorpion stirred up Qianqian's deepest memories. If there'd been no apocalypse, she should have been a freshman at a top university. Her family was well off, her parents had respectable jobs, and the 7 of them lived a happy, close-knit life. But all of it changed the day after her acceptance letter arrived. Everything changed. That day, still half asleep, she wandered to the door and saw the ornamental tree in the yard had grown to blot out the sky. The next moment, the tree's mouth split open. Right in front of the whole family, it swallowed her father whole. Then thick branches burst through the walls like giant serpents, devouring the rest of her family alive. Her mind goes completely blank. Only her sister, Nana's son, keeps thinking through it all. Nana notices a pattern. While the tree is feeding, there's a brief window of safety. So she makes the cruelest decision of all. As the branches coil around her, dragging her toward the mouth, she uses every ounce of strength to shove her little sister away. Qianqian just stands there frozen, certain she's about to be next. But the tree suddenly stops moving, and right before her eyes, it bears a single blood-red fruit. She doesn't know why, but she reaches out and picks it. Even as she chews, she tastes something disturbingly familiar. Ethan, do you know why all of you are Sequence 1 and I'm Sequence 2? Marcus, eavesdropping, is now certain Qianqian's rapid rise came from the power in that blood-soaked fruit. Heh, it was that fruit. Ethan, I ate my own family. When you're strong enough, go back and chop that tree down for firewood. Who comforts someone like that? But somehow that line cracks a door open in her mind. Why can't I go get revenge? If it could eat my family, I can cut it down. For the first time, Qianqian's eyes burn with real fire. Ethan, get in my car. The next second, I'm shoved out of it, cursing, tumbling to the ground. Not far off, Marcus in his off-roader listens to the radio, his face turning black as soot. My ears are filthy now. Filthy, you too shameless. As dawn breaks, Qianqian and I act as if we'd agreed on it and neither of us mentions last night. Ethan, that scorpion skin is really something. I want it. Come on, just give in this once. By convoy rules, all 4 of us split it evenly. Then can you give me your share? You're an engineer, Sequence. If you talk to Marcus and the big guy, it'll go through easy. Then help me upgrade my sword after. She keeps leaning in closer, practically pressing herself into my chest. For a gear upgrade, this girl really has no shame. So what are you offering in return? I'm already doing all this, and you're still keeping score with me? one thing at a time. I can help you craft the artifact, but my work doesn't come cheap. With that, she kicks me right out of the truck. Remember this, jerk. I'm the one who played you. The door slams shut. I brush the dust off and head back to my pickup to plan my next move. Upgrading the Vengeance Cleaver takes 30,000 kill points. Next up, the Mythic Capsule. Marcus says it can fully unlock human potential worth even more than a sequence relic. How many kill points for one Mythic Capsule? One Mythic Capsule costs 50,000 kill points. I have to give up both options and put my remaining points into upgrading my vehicle instead. In the end, I grit my teeth and spend 15,000 points upgrading the solar panel 40 hours. Once done, the truck's range will break past 100 kilometers. Staring at what little's left on the panel, a burning frustration rises in my chest. Then a wild idea strikes me. If I can't afford the Mythic Capsule, why not try another angle? Every martial arts novel has some kind of inner power method, right? System, is there any way to boost Sequence superhuman abilities? Sequence power is fundamentally the same as what the host calls internal energy, but it requires kill points to run a derivation. How many points? Estimated 10,000 kill points. Derivation time? Approximately 36 hours. Since my power system is still mid-upgrade, I shelve the idea for now. Not long after, Marcus suddenly calls everyone together for a quick meeting. Everyone, ration your water. Hold out a few more days and we should run into another convoy. With luck, we might trade for more. Hearing that, Chanshin and I both freeze for a moment. In this apocalypse, the scariest thing isn't always an oddity. Sometimes, what really gets you killed is other people. Once the meeting breaks up, we push on with the migration. Marcus stops now and then to check direction, sometimes doubling back over ground we already crossed. The convoy circles the sand sea like lost ants. Behind my pickup, that strange little electric trike keeps quietly trailing along. By all logic, a low-power little thing like that should have died long ago, but it just keeps running. That old man is definitely hiding something. I don't plan on digging into it, just keeping my distance. Soon, the pickup's power upgrade finally finishes. Right after, a new solar charging panel sits on the cab's roof. But there's something more important now, having the system run a derivation on training sequence power. System beginning derivation. Per host's request, using martial arts internal power methods as the model. Estimated time 36 hours. Deducting 10,000 kill points. The moment my upgrade finishes, excited shouts ripple through the convoy. Boss, they're here! I follow Will's pointing finger. In the distance, a caravan of camels moves slowly toward us. Riders sit atop the front camels. The rear ones are piled with supplies. But even more people walk without camels. Every single one of them is bound by rope. The first word that comes to mind is slaves. The two groups finally meet on the open wasteland. Their leader is named Warren Moe, a wrinkled old man with a pipe clenched in his teeth. But it isn't Warren I'm watching, it's the caravan behind him. The survivors are ragged, hollow-eyed, treated worse than the camels themselves. What makes me frown even harder, 5 wolves move within the caravan. They approach us silently, instinctively forming a loose ring as if we're already prey. A low howl cuts through the air. All 5 wolves fall into formation, trotting obediently to a young man's side. Marcus, let me introduce you. This is Liozan, an important member of our team. This one's sequence must have something to do with beast taming. This is Ivy, another of our core fighters. She looks like an ordinary woman, bandages wrapped around her hands, but there's a sharp, dangerous edge underneath. And over there, that's Ryan Liu. He's still a minor, doesn't know how to behave yet. The boy wears a hooded cloak, his whole body swallowed in shadow. Everyone around him instinctively steps back. Even his own team superhumans won't get near him. While I size him up, he draws a finger across his throat toward Iron Lion. Pure, arrogant provocation. Marcus quickly introduces our side too, without revealing anyone's sequence. Both sides understand the game without saying a word. Everyone's holding something back. Both groups set up camp behind the dunes. But the caravan supplies are clearly richer. Tents, rations, water, everything they need. Their slaves start unloading, slow and sluggish, driven on by a brutish overseer. Marcus, your convoy's a bit thin. Warren, it's the end of the world now, too many mouths just becomes a burden. Ha, fair point. Warren gives the big pickup a meaningful glance. Nice truck you've got there. Fuel must be hard to come by though. Their laughter sounds warm on the surface. But underneath, both men, one old, one young, are running their own calculations. That night, under a high-hanging blood moon, both group sequence superhumans sit together around the fire. Amid the laughter, Warren begins telling his own story. Before the apocalypse, he was a village official. Life wasn't rich, but it was stable enough. That stability was shattered fast by a wave of refugees. They came in covered in wounds, eyes hollow, muttering the same words over and over, "The city's gone." Marcus, you don't know how bad those people really were. When they first showed up, we thought we're all refugees, right? So we fed them well, gave them the best we had. And what happened? They ate without thanks, drank without leaving, and in the end wouldn't spare our women, our food, or our livestock. Damn it all, those bastards weren't even human. Then the village fell apart, too. Wailing at night, bodies by day, everyone who could run, ran. Whoever stayed just became food for those things. I heard Mo City fell too. That's a city of tens of millions. How could it just be wiped out entirely? Warren doesn't rush to answer. Instead, he waves over a burly man. Go bring him over. Moments later, the man drags a tall, gaunt figure back with him. He escaped Mo City. Ask him yourself. At first, Mo City still had order. The military, scientists, everyone was trying to figure it out. But those things came too fast. Some said it was a virus. Some said it was a supernatural invasion. Overnight, the whole city felt hollowed out. The more crowded a place was, the sooner it went wrong. Subway stations, malls, schools all turned into slaughterhouses. Teams went in later to investigate. Not one of them made it back. Wasn't there a survivor base down south? There was. Hundreds of thousands gathered there, they say. Then the oddities got in, and overnight it was all gone. Silence falls over everyone the moment he finishes. Then Warren suddenly grins. As for his lady over there, she used to be a top star with tens of millions of fans. If not for the apocalypse, an old man like me never would have had a shot with someone like her. And back in the day, her dancing was something else. Once things settle, we'll let Marcus see for himself. The next moment, a stunning, sultry figure glides into view. Oh, Warren, teasing me again, are you? Hey, look at you, you little vixen. You're going to be the death of these old bones of mine. The two of them flirt without a care for anyone watching. My scalp prickles just looking at it. The old man's old enough to be her grandfather. But the more I look at her, the more something feels off. Then my eyes land on her neck and everything freezes. I finally understand what's going on. I glance instinctively at Marcus and Iron Lion. Both quietly shift back half a step. Meanwhile, on the caravan side, several faces wear the same dreamy, entranced look. Warren, other than us, have you run into any other survivor convoys along the way? I have, actually. Counting you. That makes 2.5 survivor groups I've come across. Wait, 2.5? What's the half about? You might not believe this, but that half was a group of survivors living on the back of a giant elephant. He said the elephant was massive beyond belief, with an entire human settlement built right on its back, complete with signs of everyday life. And that's not the only story. Apparently, somewhere far off, humans have built a floating city in the sky. It sounds absurd, but ever since the oddities appeared, absurd has become the norm. Later, all kinds of theories emerged about the true cause of the apocalypse. Some say 2 dimensions collided and overlapped. Others say it's a sign the world is resetting. The most extreme claim it's the price of God's returning. The wild weather is only the beginning. Daytime heat can scorch skin, while nighttime cold can freeze a person solid. Mountains shift, oceans flow backward, and through cracks in the sky, you can sometimes glimpse the shadow of another continent. All of it points to the same truth: this apocalypse has only just begun. Whether these rumors are true or not, someday they might just appear before all our eyes. After a short exchange, it's clear the caravan runs nothing like our convoy, completely different. Slavery is simply the law of the land for them. By comparison, our convoy is practically paradise. Here, if you're willing to work, you eat. Even someone just a little diligent won't starve. Back at camp, I can't hold back from asking Marcus, when do we move? That caravan's supplies are no small thing. Ethan, you really are a born troublemaker. Don't tell me you're actually thinking about turning on them. Ethan, that's not right. We're all survivors here. A fair trade benefits everyone. Ethan, I've known from the start you're not exactly a good person. Please, like you two haven't thought the same thing. Marcus falls silent for a moment before finally speaking. Ethan, you're not entirely wrong either. Never scheme to harm others, but never let your guard down either. I've already spoken with Warren. Trading starts first thing tomorrow. We're not planning to turn on them, but we'll stay on guard all the same. That old man Warren seems plenty crafty to me. Chansha, no wonder we click. Her read matches mine almost exactly. Just then, Iron Lion suddenly speaks up. Something's off about Ryan in the caravan. Just now, while everyone was eating, he was the only one who didn't touch a single bite. It's the end of the world. People fight tooth and nail over a single meal, fight till they bleed for it. And that kid didn't even pick up his chopsticks. Marcus's face darkens. I think I know what sequence that kid belongs to. He must be Fiend Sequence. Fiend Sequence is practically built for this apocalypse. They can't eat normal food. The moment they do, it triggers a violent rejection. Human meals are basically poison to them. Fiend Sequences feed on negative human emotion. The darker the emotion, the faster their power grows. Silence falls over everyone. In this apocalypse, fear is everywhere. That kid was practically born for this world, and he might even be Sequence 2. A fiend at Sequence 2 grows wings. Normally they fold into a cloak to hide the body. They only show themselves in battle. Interesting. Both Sequence 2. I'd love to find out who's actually stronger. Don't do anything rash. We're short-handed right now. Avoid conflict if we possibly can. After the Scorpion fight, Iron Lion's hurt. That leaves just you and Xianxian able to fight. Our convoy's too fragile, right now. Marcus isn't wrong, but I don't quite agree. I look toward the distant campfire, my voice flat. Haven't you noticed? The caravan isn't exactly stable either. Especially that plain-looking woman. She seems tense with the rest of them. With that nudge, everyone recalls at dinner, that sharp-eyed woman left early. I say I go have a word with her. Never know what might come of it. Hold on, Ethan. Stop thinking about turning on them. A clean trade is already the best outcome we could hope for. The words are barely out before something occurs to him, and he pulls out the artifact radio at once. Here's what we'll do. Let's hear what they're actually saying first. Static crackles from the radio, then a hoarse voice cuts through. Boss, that pretty boy in the other convoy looks the shadiest to me. We should watch him close. All three of them turn to stare at me. What are you looking at me for? Marcus is paler than I am. That comment's about him, not me. Besides, I didn't say a word all night. Way too well behaved. Nothing shady about that. Before I finish, the radio crackles again. Yeah, that guy's been playing it real quiet all night, but his eyes never stop wandering. Caught him eyeing our supplies more than once. Watch out, they might try to turn on us. Listening in, I start to wonder if I really am the shady one here. After all, Warren doesn't seem to be planning anything, and his people all look decent enough. No need to worry, another voice chimes in. The boss is right. Let's hope tomorrow's trade goes smoothly. Marcus reaches over and clicks the radio off, saying simply that everyone should turn in early. Trading starts at first light. But the moment we step out of the tent, a wolf's howl slices through the night's quiet. I look up. The young man who commands the wolves is slowly making his rounds through the caravan. He rests a hand on each camel's forehead, and every restless animal falls calm at his touch. So his sequence really is beast taming. In this world, that kind of ability is worth a whole army on the move. I take a second look at him before finally turning back to my own pickup. The system panel's countdown flickers with cold, steady numbers. Technique derivation. Time remaining, 13 hours. If the derivation succeeds, my sequence training speed will multiply, and my strength climbs another level. Meanwhile, on the other side, Marcus switches the radio back on. Static rises, then a voice, both strange and eerily familiar, comes through. I remember you, you're one of Marcus's people, aren't you? What are you doing sneaking into my tent? The next instant, the radio goes completely silent. A chill runs straight down Marcus's spine. Whoever this is, they clearly know what the radio really does, which means trouble is coming for the convoy, and soon. As the first light of dawn breaks through the clouds, the caravan's people are the first to stir. They clear a space between the two convoys, busy setting out supplies and unloading packs off the camels' backs. Watching from a distance, I have to admit the caravan's got real depth. Every camel's back is loaded down with goods. Then a massive skeleton catches my eye. More precisely, it's the remains of a mutated giant ox, faint strange markings etched across its bones. I've had this idea for a while. If I could fuse artifact materials into the truck, my ride might evolve into a true artifact vehicle. This giant ox's skeleton is the perfect place to start. I spend 70 kill points on identification, and the system responds right away. Item origin, bones from a twin-head man-eater, left behind by 5 sequence superhumans who killed it together. One of them was decapitated in the fight. The bones carry strange energy if forged into an artifact. They'd make an outstanding large-scale piece. System, can these bones be used to upgrade my pickup? Fusing the twin-head man-eater's bones into your Apocalypse pickup offers 2 options. Option 1, forge into the chassis, significantly boosting rigidity and reducing impact deformation. Option 2, forge into the frame and undercarriage, enhancing off-road performance, while also boosting overall body strength. My mind sparks at once. Earlier, upgrading the pickup to save kill points, I used the cheapest materials the system offered. As a result, the truck keeps creaking and groaning. But add these bones, and the whole thing jumps at least a full tier in quality. Just as I'm thinking it over, Warren's sly voice drifts over from beside me. Little Ethan, you interested in this? I keep my expression casual and greet him. Warren, you're up early? Yeah. With that, he pats the bones, his tone suddenly turning heavy. Our caravan used to have 5 sequence superhumans. Then we ran into this twin-head man-eater. One of them never woke up again. We lost a lot of people in that fight. I want to offer some comfort, but I don't know where to start. Normally a group with a Pathfinder anchoring it isn't likely to get run down by an oddity unless something went badly wrong. Warren seems to read my thoughts. You guessed right. With our Pathfinder around, ordinary oddities really can't catch up to us. But there's always an exception. I'm the same as your Marcus, just a sequence 1 daredevil. That doesn't mean I can dodge everything. Oddities come in every twisted shape imaginable, some you wouldn't even dare picture. Like that twin-head man-eater. With that, the old fox's grin returns to his face. All right, young man, I've said my piece. So how do you plan to trade for these bones? I touch the vengeance cleaver at my hip, then glance at the pickup in the distance. Those 2 things are my entire fortune. There's barely any food left in the truck. I give an awkward laugh. Warren, the way you're describing it, I really can't afford to trade for that. Just asking, that's all. The warmth drains from Warren's smile instantly. As he turns away, he mutters, just another broke nobody then. I pretend not to hear and turn my attention to the rest of the supplies. I have to admit, the caravan's got plenty of good stuff, food, medicine, bottled water piled high across a wide stretch. And their footprint alone is staggering. It takes up the biggest chunk of the clearing by far. But the most eye-catching items were a pair of artifact materials harvested from the man-faced scorpion. Marcus had discussed it with a few of us beforehand. These 2 materials weren't just for trading supplies, they were meant to solve our drinking water problem. Without water, a person can survive at most 2 days in the desert. And yet, even so, the man-faced scorpion's shell and its facial skin only fetched 10 crates of bottled water in the end. Before the apocalypse, this kind of artifact material could have been worth hundreds of millions. My own task was simple. While the trade fair lasted, trade for as much as I could. I quickly traded a pack of instant noodles for a pair of high-top boots, then swapped 3 cigarettes for a small fan I'd had my eye on. Just as I kept browsing, out of nowhere, Old Man Mo's familiar creepy chuckle rang in my ear. Hey, Ethan, what'll it take to trade for that liquor of yours? The old man never went anywhere without smokes and booze. The moment he spotted the bottle on my stall, his eyes lit right up. I smiled and told him, just bring me that oxbone of yours. I knew you were sly the moment I saw you. You've had your eye on my oxbone all along. So deal or not, dream on, bring me 50 bags of rice and I'll consider handing it over. Right as Warren and I were haggling, Marcus appeared beside us without a sound. The moment he saw him, Warren's face twisted into a leering grin. Marcus, I've got another deal for you, want in? But before he'd even finished, out of nowhere, a pair of hostile eyes locked onto me with open malice. It was that boy wrapped head to toe in a cloak. Noticing me looking back, he casually drew a finger across his own throat. Marcus, that shoe girl in your caravan, and the Joe girl too, they're both quite something. Trade them to me. I'll give you 2 crates of water. Out here in the desert, water was worth more than gold. Maybe it was Warren's stare, too heated to bear. Zoe froze like prey caught in a predator's gaze, while Lena edged closer to me. Warren, don't bring that up again. Marcus, you're still soft. It's the apocalypse. Now what's the point of playing the good guy? Let me sweeten the deal. Last night someone came to my tent. Care to guess what she told me? Marcus's face went rigid. Of course he knew someone had slipped into Warren's tent the night before. He just hadn't expected the old man to bring it up now. Still, Marcus gritted his teeth and refused. Warren, Lena, and Zoe are people, not goods. I won't trade them. Guess I underestimated you, Captain Chu. Fine, forget the 2 girls then. I'll just tell you outright. The one who came to my tent last night was a woman named Jessica Shu. She practically sold every last one of you out. Sometimes kindness gets you killed. Remember that this is the apocalypse. Marcus's expression darkened. He never imagined the caravan's traitor would be her. In that moment, murder flashed in Marcus's eyes for the first time. Much obliged, Warren, haha. No trouble at all, you and I are both captains. Same as you, I can't stand a rat in the ranks. Just as the 2 of them finished talking, I grabbed Lena's hand and walked straight over to Warren. Warren, our captain won't trade with you, but I will. Lena's mine to trade. Hand over that oxbone and she's yours. Deal? The moment Lena heard my words, her knees nearly buckled beneath her. The instant those words left my mouth, Marcus's anger was real. Easy now, Marcus. Ethan wants to trade, that's his right. You're a good man in every way, just too rigid. We used to be ordinary people, forced to swallow every insult. But things are different now, we're sequenced superhumans. Time to drop the old mindset. With that, his shifty eyes crawled over Lena again, his grin turning even more lecherous. Hey, Ethan, I could still let you have that twin-head oxbone, though I doubt 1 girl's enough. Warren turned his gaze towards Zoe. In that instant, ice ran through her veins. But the very next second, a jolt of dread seized Warren's chest. Before he could react, a cleaver dropped from above and split his skull clean off. The instant I struck, that plain-looking woman not far off suddenly unleashed a shocking burst of power. With a single backhanded punch, she drove it into the hooded boy, almost too fast to track. He managed to block it, but the impact still tore blood from his throat. Ivy, why turn on me? But before he could finish, a blade tip burst through his chest. Struggling to turn his head, he saw Qianqian standing nearby, fingers still forming a sword-summoning sign. You can command a blade? Fresh trick, how's it feel? Not bad, right? Before he could answer, a scream tore through the distance. A pack of starving wolves had already lunged at Iron Lion, and the alpha had clamped its jaws on his throat. Iron Lion roared and fought to break free, but he was already spent, running on fumes. Another wolf had his arms pinned in its jaws. These wolves were bred by Liu Zhan vicious strains, each one bigger and more savage than any normal wolf. If Iron Lion hadn't already been wounded, he never would have been overwhelmed like this. But it all happened too fast. Just as Iron Lion was breaking loose, Leo had already severed his head with 1 strike. With that done, Leo leapt onto the alpha's back and tore off deep into the desert. Iron Lion! Qianqian's hands snapped into a seal, a flash of sword light streaking after the fleeing shape. A muffled grunt escaped the rider, and he tumbled from the wolf's back. In barely 10 seconds, 4 sequenced superhumans lay dead, and it had all begun with the single blow I struck first. Qianqian rushed to Iron Lion's side, tears spilling like beads from her eyes. Many survivors from the school bus broke down in silent grief. Without Iron Lion, plenty of them wouldn't have made it this far. His death caught everyone off guard, but it didn't shake my composure. I kept my eyes fixed on the boy's corpse nearby. Marcus had told me before fiend sequence bodies clung to life with terrifying tenacity, rivaling even the Titan sequence. So I suspected this one might not really be dead, maybe even that beast tamer had faked his own death too. I drew the cleaver from my belt and crept closer to the cloaked boy. He's already dead. No one survives a strike like that. Sure enough, a gaping wound bled from his chest, black mist creeping out and spreading across it. Given a few more minutes, Ryan was confident he could have killed every last one of us. He'd been waiting for me to close in, ready to strike a killing blow the moment I did. But I wasn't about to give him the satisfaction. I steered the cleaver with the willow branch instead, driving it into the boy again and again until his body was torn into pieces, and only then did I stop. I thought the slaughter was over. But at that very moment, the beast tamer Chanqian had run through, suddenly leapt onto the alpha wolf's back, and fled without looking back. I watched his retreating figure with cold indifference. Such a shame those kill points, lost. Killing Warren just now had already earned a hefty reward from the system. Thinking back to the night before, the first person I'd approach was Ivy. She'd never quite fit in with this group. Whenever the boy abused the other captives, she was the only one who ever stepped in. And I'd noticed the look she gave Warren, a flicker of pure disgust in her eyes. None of it had escaped my careful attention. When I found her and laid out my plan, she barely hesitated before agreeing. The second person was Qianshan. The moment I struck, she and Ivy would use the chaos to take down the fiend-trained boy. Marcus had once told me fiend sequence power far outstrips an ordinary awakened. I'd expected the fight to be brutally dangerous, but it went shockingly smoothly. As for Iron Lion, I'd never counted on his help, and never expected him to fall so fast. Iron Lion lay there, still and silent. The survivors carved him a headstone, reading, "Here lies Haifeng Wu." I'd always called him Big Guy, and he'd never once minded. Even Bao, who always had a joke ready, just smoked in silence. I was no different. Back when I first awakened my power, everything I knew about sequence superhumans Iron Lion had taught me, piece by piece. If he hadn't died, I might have truly come to see him as a brother. "Marcus, it's getting late." Marcus didn't answer. Instead, he turned to look at me. "You shouldn't have been so reckless. At least you should have told me beforehand. If I had the chance to do it again, I'd still do the same thing. I'd just warn Iron Lion ahead of time so he could stay clear of it." After hearing that, his face grew even more silent. He didn't think what I'd done was wrong. It was clear enough that Warren and that boy were no good to begin with. "Maybe, out of all of us, you're the only one who'll make it to the end." Marcus poured a cup of tea onto the ground before Iron Lion. "If I ever die, remember to burn me some tea leaves every year." I checked the countdown. Time was already running short. Just as we were about to leave, Marcus's tone suddenly turned strange. "Ethan, did you know Titan Sequence 1 is called the Flesh Apprentice, but once you reach Sequence 2, it splits into two branches?" "Which two?" "One's called the Twin Furnace Giant, the other's the Watching Skull. The Watching Skull grows a third eye on its forehead, and that eye carries a strange, uncanny power. I once read a file on it. If a Titan on that branch reaches a high enough sequence, the third eye left behind after death can even be used directly as an artifact." I listened, completely stunned, and even Chanchan beside me stopped crying. "You remember how strange Iron Lion always seemed? One personality in everyday life, a completely different one in a fight. Are you saying Iron Lion's coming back to life?" "He's not coming back to life. He was never dead to begin with." The words had barely left his mouth when Iron Lion's body suddenly twitched. Then, under everyone's stunned stares, a new face appeared before us all. "Ethan, what are you three idiots just standing around for? Get me up already. You have no idea I nearly died out there. Oh, and call me Ferocious Lion." Iron Lion hadn't died, he just needed a few more days to claw his way back out. "So how about that Titan sequence? Pretty wild, huh? Can't even kill me by taking my head off." "But Ethan, I could tell you were feeling guilty back there. Didn't peg you for the type. Never would have guessed it." I couldn't help rolling my eyes. "Shut your mouth, it's getting late, get in the truck." Ferocious Lion laughed loudly and clambered into the cargo bed. This time we'd hauled back a full load of supplies and gained a new sequence member besides. The caravan was finally on the upswing. Titans really were something else, even down to a single breath. They could still claw their way back to life. I filed that away in my mind. If I ever faced a Titan sequence enemy again, I couldn't afford to hold back. Then it hit me, that fiend sequence boy. As dead as he already was, I still wasn't taking chances. I exhaled a breath of smoke. It split into thousands of fine needles, shrieking as they drove into the corpse. A moment later, a skull condensed from black smoke glared at me with pure malice, before dissolving back into the air. I gave Warren's corpse the same treatment. This time, nothing unusual happened. All right, everyone, get the supplies loaded onto the trucks now. Use every camel we've got for transport. In half an hour, we're moving out." The captives from the old camel caravan all became new members of our convoy. Once they learned the caravan's rules, every one of them lit up with excitement, working even faster than before. I picked up my own pace too. A hand condensed from smoke snatched up the oxbone the instant I could reach it, setting it down in my own apocalypse pickup. I just had to wait for the calculation to finish, and I'd finally upgrade the truck. "So what's your plan?" "Let me introduce myself properly. I'm Ivy. Sequence 1, all the way. Given the state of things, I've got nowhere else to go. I'd like to join the caravan." "No problem. Glad to have you. I don't want to deal with caravan business day to day. I'll just join Iron Lion's bus. This is something I reconstructed. The circle in the middle marks a water source. Find this spot and you'll find water." Marcus took the map from her, his gaze sharpening. The caravan finally had a new direction. Meanwhile, a commotion stirred behind the dunes. Two survivors marched Jessica out at gunpoint, at grip point. After Warren and Ryan's deaths, she'd tried to blend in among the survivors, feigning innocence. But this betrayal had pushed Marcus past the point of mercy. No one spoke up for her. Bao only shot her one cold glance and then drew a finger across his throat to the two men beside him. One of them didn't hesitate for a second. He walked up to Jessica, wrench raised. A single piercing scream, and Jessica lay motionless on the ground for good. Everyone watched in silence. In the apocalypse, betrayal was more terrifying than any oddity. The camel caravan's haul exceeded anything I'd imagined. According to Marcus, there was even an artifact hidden among it, but there was no time to check now. We'd examine it properly once we found the right spot. But right at that moment, an extraordinarily handsome young man appeared before me. It was the influencer with millions of followers, a man in body, yet more striking and delicate than most women. "Nathan, what do you want?" But Nathan didn't so much as glance at Marcus. Instead, he dropped to his knees before me and kowtowed 3 times. "Ethan, from today on, I'm your dog. Point me at anyone and I'll bite." "Nathan, what's this about?" "You killed that old bastard Warren, you avenged me. I stuck with him this long just to find my little sister. He lied to me, told me she'd joined another caravan. So I killed him. Doesn't that mean you'll never find her now? You don't hate me for it?" Of course I hate you. But I'm grateful more than anything. He lied to me, and if not for you, I'd still be in the dark. Get lost. I don't need a dog." The caravan was about to move out. Nathan's face flushed red, but in the end he said nothing more. He just walked silently to a camel and swung himself onto its back. "Move out!" Bao's voice crackled through the speaker, and the caravan slowly rolled forward. But Marcus's face had gone unusually dark. He suddenly slammed the gas, eyes locked on the rearview mirror. "Marcus, what's wrong? There's an oddity behind us. It'll catch up in a matter of minutes." In an instant, the whole caravan surged to full speed. No one asked why Marcus was doing this. Everyone just knew. Follow the captain and you live. Even the camels strained to keep pace with the trucks. Right then, a system notification flashed before my eyes, the one from earlier, the plan I'd asked the system to calculate for training my power. I was just about to look closer when the truck slammed into a boulder, the front end lurching violently off course, flipping the electric trike riding alongside us. Before Old Man Zhang could even react, a colossal shape burst up out of the sand jaws, splitting wide open, its breath alone whipping up a curtain of dust. Facing something that massive, trying to outrun it on foot was suicide, plain and simple. I pulled up the system to check the truck's condition. The engine was still running, thankfully, but riding it fast wasn't going to be easy. "What are you all just standing there for? If you don't want to die, get over here and help." My shout snapped Old Man Zhang out of it, a flicker of resentment crossing his eyes. After all, I was the one who'd wrecked his trike. But one glance at that monstrous snake was enough to make him curse under his breath and rush over to help. With the danger closing in, the two of us threw everything we had into it and finally forced the truck back upright. I dove straight into the driver's seat. "What are you standing around for? Get in." The old man froze for a second, clearly not expecting me to bring him along, then scrambled into the cab after me. Almost the same instant, the giant sand serpent closed to under 100 meters. Even with the truck at full throttle, there was no shaking the thing off our tail, no way to outrun that monster at all. Seeing this wasn't sustainable, I breathed out a stream of smoke. It condensed into a massive hand, seizing Old Man Zhang without warning and hurling him straight at the snake. By the time he realized what was happening, he was less than a meter from those gaping fang-lined jaws. "Ethan, what?" Just as he braced to be swallowed whole, a violent bulge tore across his back, and a second head burst out from within it. Glancing through the rearview mirror, I recognized it instantly, the hunchback from Longevity Village. Thick black mist erupted from the hunchback's body, as if trying to swallow the entire sea of sand whole. Right as I braced myself, certain a brutal clash was about to erupt, the serpent simply swallowed the hunchback whole in one bite and plunged straight back down into the dunes. I kept my foot buried in the gas, the massive serpent thrashing wildly beneath the sand, a deep bone-rattling roar suddenly erupting from below, hitting like a sledgehammer, ringing painfully in my ears. And right in that moment I put real distance between us and the serpent, several hundred meters, easily. I could still catch glimpses of it churning through the sand. To rattle a monster like that so badly, the hunchback clearly wasn't your everyday oddity. I'd barely caught my breath when I saw Nathan galloping up on a camel. "Ethan!" Without letting him finish, the apocalypse pickup roared past him. That razor's edge brush with death sent adrenaline surging through me, pulse pounding, and at last, on a relatively safe dune, we came to a stop. "Hey, you two, you killed a camel?" "Yeah. Never had camel meat before, wonder if it's any good." The camels had always been Leo's responsibility, and under his careful handling they could go days without water. But now that Leo had fled, without him, the camels probably wouldn't last much longer. Still, at least every survivor got a real meal of meat tonight. Afterward, Marcus even pulled out a full tea set. "Marcus, feeling generous today? Watch it, you've had plenty of my tea already." "Hey, Ivy, let me tell you, not everyone gets to drink Marcus's tea. Today we're all riding on your coattails." "Oh, by the way, Ethan, I saw Old Man Zhang fall behind with you earlier. How come you're the only one back? Never saw him again. Did you guys ever think something was off about that old man? You'd have to be blind not to. The old man himself was fine, just his trike. So many people have died on this trip and he's still alive. We figured you'd be the one to test him, but you never made a move. Marcus, I have to call you out on this. There's been an oddity hidden in our caravan this whole time, and none of us had a clue." The news sent a shudder through everyone present. so I recounted everything that had just happened. Who would have guessed the hunchback had been in our caravan this entire time? That hunchback might not actually be an oddity at all. How so? From what I know, this should be a symbiote sequence. Symbiote sequence? You mean symbiosis with an oddity? You know how taking the awakening serum can trigger an awakening a sequence superhuman is born from it, but not everyone succeeds. Some take the serum and simply can't survive the power reshaping their body, they die outright. Others get corrupted by the power itself and turn into oddities. And then there are the lucky few who survive but still fail to fully awaken. Every aspect of their bodies is already clearly different from an ordinary person's. Most of them end up choosing to bond with an oddity, gaining tremendous power from it. That's why we call this group the symbiote sequence. Of course, symbiote superhumans don't only bond with oddities, some choose to bond with artifacts instead. This kind of symbiote generally has two states, one, an ordinary human form, the other, an oddity form. In their human form, unless you're really looking closely, they look just like the rest of us. That's probably why I never picked up on it. Not long after, Bao and a few survivors began hauling supplies, and one item stood out, a small metal lighter. I picked it up to take a look, and a strange sensation crawled up from my fingertips. I had the system identify it at once. Artifact, Lovesick Lighter, serial number 05172. Function, fire control. Side effect, you must say to this lighter 100 times a day, I love you, or the lighter is likely to stop working. The function was simple enough, but the side effect was downright bizarre. So this is the artifact, let me see. Chanchin snatched the lighter from my hand. The instant she touched it, the same information flashed through her mind. Artifacts had a quirk while unclaimed. Any superhuman who touched one would receive its basic data. But once it bonded to an owner, it shut everyone else out entirely. Marcus explained an artifact was like a pet cat or dog at home. No blood ritual needed, no ceremony, just time, contact, and understanding, until it finally recognized you as its owner. Ethan, Miss Sun, I know how to work this thing. Ivy stepped forward. This lovesick lighter used to belong to Warren. At the time, my attention had been fixed on the fiend sequence boy, so the artifact had ended up in Marcus's hands instead. Ivy carefully explained how to use it, and everyone listened. Jaws dropped. Chan stepped up first. Following Ivy's instructions, she flicked the lighter open and gently blew on the small flame. The next instant, a jet of fire shot out, 7 or 8 meters long, like a makeshift flamethrower. With power like that, if it were aimed at a person, the outcome went without saying. The caravan had reached the point of dividing up the spoils. The pile of supplies was total chaos. Per caravan rules, anything earned through solo action stayed with the individual, while anything gained collectively got split evenly. The ordinary survivors got scraps at best. But this time, there were only 4 artifacts to divide, and 5 sequence superhumans in the room, clearly not enough to go around. So Marcus proposed splitting the ordinary supplies first, then moving on to the artifact materials. In the end, I got 7 crates of bottled water, along with some rice, flour, and snacks. Iron Lion and Ivy ended up with the biggest piles. Ivy's share of the supplies went straight into the pool with Iron Lions stacked together. It was quite the sight. As for the remaining camels, with no food to keep them alive, they probably wouldn't last much longer. They'd end up as the caravan's next meal. All right, ordinary supplies are settled. Next, the artifacts and artifact materials. The 2 artifacts from the man-faced scorpion. Ivy hadn't joined the caravan yet at the time, so she doesn't get a cut of these. But whoever wants either of them needs to hand over an equivalent amount of goods to buy out the other 3's shares. Same rule applies to the oxbone and the lighter. The moment the words dividing the artifacts left his mouth, the whole camp went silent for half a second. Then countless eyes lit up like wolves closing in on prey. My own pulse quickened too. That man-eating twin-head oxbone, I was determined to have it. I checked the system panel. After killing Warren and that fiend sequence boy, my kill points had shot straight up to 20,000. Combined with what I'd saved before, it was more than enough for 1 artifact. Alright, first up for division, the oxbone. Everyone gets a share, and whoever wants the whole thing has to compensate the rest. Not interested. Ethan, if you can give me 2 camels, I'll let go of my share. 2? Why don't you just go rob someone? After a few rounds of back and forth, I ended up paying 1.5 camels to Ferocious Lion. Marcus, you're after the lovesick lighter, right? Then just give me your share of the bone. I won't fight you for the lighter. Ethan, you're pushing it. Is this really a fair trade? You want the artifact, I'm not stopping you. Marcus's mood soured a little at my attitude, but I still handed over some supplies to seal the deal. As for Qianqian and Ivy, I paid a hefty price to buy out their shares too. With that, the oxbone was finally mine. Next came the man-faced scorpion's facial skin and shell. Qianqian claimed the skin, while the shell was set aside, reserved for future trading. The last of the attention fell on the lovesick lighter. Marcus paid dearly for it. He wiped out the gas I owed him, and threw in an extra 30 liters on top, plus a pile of odds and ends. I even started to wonder if he had a hidden storage space somewhere. Marcus said nothing on the matter, as if he were carrying secrets none of us knew about. Iron Lion and Ivy walked away with a haul to be proud of, and the survivors trailing behind them couldn't stop grinning. But there was one more thing left for today. Marcus, there's more? Can I skip this one? I need to practice my sword tonight. I noticed the raw, worn callus on her hand left from her late-night practice night after night, but Marcus paid it no mind. He simply pulled a crumpled map from his jacket. Ivy, you found this. Go ahead, explain it. Ivy took the map. This marks a water source. We split up plenty of water today, but it won't last long. Our next move, we need to reach this location before the last bottle runs dry, or none of us make it out alive. Word of the water source spread through the survivors, and cheers broke out across the camp, the first bit of good news the caravan had had in days. Once tonight's meeting wrapped up, I handed out 2 loaves of bread as payment, getting a couple of survivors to help load supplies onto the truck. Tonight's haul had been huge. Still buzzing, I pulled up the system interface. Blood moon breathing method calculation complete. The moment I saw that name, a knot of resistance tightened in my chest. Never look directly at the blood moon. That was one of the most basic survival rules of this new world. In the first days after the oddities appeared, countless people had gone mad and died out of pure curiosity toward the blood moon. And yet, even knowing that, I opened the technique anyway. According to its description, the blood moon wasn't a pure curse. It was a special form of energy, just one the human body couldn't absorb directly. To make use of it, you had to breathe at a very specific frequency. According to the technique, every sequence superhuman's inner power carried a frequency unique to them alone. And blood moon breathing, essentially, meant using that frequency to resonate with the moon itself. So I sat cross-legged, trying to sense the power hidden deep inside me. Half an hour later, I finally caught that faint, distinct rhythm. I raised my head and looked up at the blood moon overhead. The next second, an eerie restlessness surged straight into my chest. A faint whisper seemed to murmur in my ear. This, exactly, was what had driven so many people insane. I forced myself to endure the discomfort, and by the 3rd second, snapped my eyes shut. But the frequency inside me didn't stop in just 1 hour of practice. I felt like I'd made more progress than days of prior training combined. 2 hours later, I finally opened my eyes again, slowly. But I didn't rest. There was something more important waiting: system fusion. Ox bone upgrade, using the man-eating twin-head ox as raw material. Upgrade the Apocalypse pickup. Plan, upon completion, the truck will be transformed into an artifact. Required kill points, 20,000. Time required, 96 hours. After confirming everything, I dropped straight into sleep. The night wind swept over the dunes outside. Chan-chan trudged back to the truck, exhausted. Chan-chan, you're back so late again. Save it, I'm beat. Going to sleep, don't bother me. Not far off, inside the yellow school bus, most survivors had already sunk into a deep sleep. Ferocious Lion slept on the large bed at the back, a second head slowly, steadily forming beside his own, gradually taking shape into Iron Lion's face. But right at that moment, a piercing scream tore through the camp. I jolted awake from sleep. Bao had already grabbed a flashlight and bolted outside. It's Nathan! Something's happened over there! I pushed through the crowd to look, and found Nathan with blood smeared across his mouth. A burly man collapsed beside him, clutching his own throat. Nathan! Nathan! He killed him! Oh my God! Every eye turned on Nathan with a new, wary look. Marcus and I exchanged a glance. Leave it to Bao. The next morning when I saw Nathan again, I froze in place. The androgynous, striking Nathan I once knew was gone. In his place stood a man with a hardened, scarred face. He'd disfigured himself, deliberately. While Marcus and I were still discussing the search for water, a familiar voice suddenly rang out. Hey! Long time no see, everyone. I turned around to find a 2-headed figure standing right in front of me. One head lay dormant, eyes shut. The other wore a wide, goofy grin. Iron Lion. You big lug, you're finally back. Damn, I thought you were dead that day. Marcus said you weren't actually dead. You were probably awakening into the twin furnace giant branch. Otherwise we might have buried you alive. I know Ferocious Lion filled me in already. Once again, everyone was floored by the sheer recovery power of the Titan sequence. After breakfast, I went back to my truck and found it had been washed spotless. Nathan stood beside it, a filthy rag still in his hand, watching me with an anxious, uncertain look. After a moment's thought, I pulled a bottle of water from the truck and tossed it to him. Nathan hadn't expected a whole bottle. His eyes reddened instantly. To save fuel, I switched the truck to electric mode, but right then the sedan up ahead shuddered twice and stalled out for good. Its original owner had died back in Longevity Village, and afterward 4 thugs had claimed it. As I gathered my tools to get moving again, one of the thugs, a bald guy, jogged over. Hey man, hey, our car's out of gas. Any chance you could spare some? Once we find a gas station, the 4 of us will pay you back double. I didn't answer, just grabbed a tool from my truck and walked over to their dead sedan, starting to strip its windshield right off. Ethan, don't push it. One of them, a bleached blonde guy, dug through the trunk for a weapon, clearly aiming to teach me a lesson. He was the 3rd of the 4 thugs, who back before the apocalypse had leaned on his family's connections after beating a man to death over an argument, and gotten off with only 3 years. He'd figured he'd pull strings and walk once things blew over, but the apocalypse hit before he ever got the chance. Amid the chaos, he and a few others broke out of prison, joining a survivor caravan along the way, and had managed to survive to this point. Too bad, though they had no idea what being a sequenced superhuman really meant. In fact, across the whole caravan, most people had quietly written me off as the weakest of the bunch after all. A smoke sequence didn't exactly look threatening. In this guy's eyes, the world had always run on the strong preying on the weak. But he'd never once imagined that one day, the bully would get bullied right back. "The hell!" he roared and swung a steel pipe straight down at me. But what met his swing was a massive hand condensed from smoke, which sent him flying backward through the air, landing hard, motionless on the ground. Over the next 2 days, the caravan pressed on through the desert. Every time Marcus pulled to a stop, everyone behind him would hold their breath in hope, only for their hearts to sink every time he climbed back in with nothing. Meanwhile, every night I kept practicing the blood moon breathing method. The moment that power circulated through me, I could control a haze of smoke spanning 7 or 8